Howdy do, ladies and gents. Welcome to another tier list. Yep, that's right, we're doing this again. This time, though, I decided to kind of boost my analytics, I suppose, if you want to call it that, and talk about some other people online, because I'm terminally online now. Yep, that's right. We're diving into other YouTubers. That's correct. And just to be clear, I'm diving into as many online people that I can think of off the top of my head. There's a lot of people. I've been on YouTube a long time, especially this year. So here's what I'm kind of thinking here, okay? I'm going to rate all the new YouTube channels that either A, I discovered this year, B, changed very recently to decipher a, mention on this thing and, whatever, and, or C, something that I want to talk about, I guess. They did something so remarkable I want to talk about them. So, here we go. That's all we got, and also, not just that, but there's also some non-YouTubers as well, like, for instance, Adam the Creator right here. I think he's exclusively on Instagram and all that, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit, kind of shine some light to non-YouTube as well. I know that may be not necessarily what YouTube wants, but hey, that's what I want to do, so there you go. Oh yeah, and also I mixed it up a little bit this time. Mixed up the tiers instead of just S to F. This time we got superior, awesome, good, haven't posted in a while, which, a lot of people tend to do, and that's fine. Not good, and then get off the platform. And trust me, there will be people on this list. More often than not, I'll be doing that. So, without further ado, let's get started. And we're starting out with the one and only Johnny Harris. Now, this is from another section of YouTube that I got really into this year, which was, surprising enough, journalism. And he does a lot of great travel journalism. I don't necessarily like when he goes into politics, because there's just a lot of, how do I put this? There's a lot of older channels like NBC, CBS, ABC, News, and all that crap that goes into it, and I don't really want to watch political stuff. It's well made, but I don't want to watch the politicalness anymore, Johnny. I want to watch the travel stuff. Your travel stuff that you become well known and I love, but instead you're just talking about politics again. The war with China and all that stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, calm down. Anyway, though, I think he's a very, very respectable person and all that. There's some stuff that I'm just like, okay, hold your horses, calm yourself. It's not that important here. So because of that, I'm going to put it in, he's good. Again, if he didn't have all this political stuff, I'd probably put him in superior, but because there's a lot of political stuff on his channel, I put it in good tier. He does, however, try to keep it on a total, not liberal level as well, but also non-conservative either. So there's that. I gotta respect him for that. But still, I don't want to watch political stuff. And that's the reason why I subscribed to his channel, was for his his travel stuff, and I know because of the pandemic and all that, he hasn't really been doing that. So, but yeah, just wish you'd do more travel stuff or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, though, Penguin Zero, aka Moist Critical, aka Charlie. This guy I found on online when I started doing I guess the more commentary stuff, which I should probably stop, but I can't get enough of. This like my trash TV, I suppose, that I watch every night to kind of relax to every night. Anyway, though, this guy, okay, awesome stuff. I don't really watch his streams, which can go for like 3 hours, but his YouTube videos that last from 8 to 15 minutes and all that, a lot of it is not necessarily all that needed, but still he's got his very nonchalant voice and just tells it how it is and very unshakable and all that. I mean, anyone, from what I've told you about Johnny Harris, just put it onto this guy and make it hilarious, okay? This is total rated R content and all that, but still, this is a fabulous YouTuber right here, and he's just down to earth and all that, and kind of a not necessarily terminally online, as we will talk about for other people. So for that reason, I'm gonna put in an awesome tier. Put him in awesome tier right here. He's not again, if he made his streams the same as his YouTube videos and all that, I probably put him squarely in superior. But I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of his streams and all that. He also just started to stream on YouTube as well, and he got out of his exclusivity deal with Twitch, so there's that too. But yeah, I'm not really a huge fan of his streams. But anyway, though, MatPat has released a new channel this year, The Style Theorists, which I didn't think he would do. I didn't think there was a whole lot to it, but there it is, I guess. The Style Theorist channel. And it's fine, if you're watching about clothing and all that. I mostly subscribed to him because of the film theory channel, and I was a big film theory deal up until he started doing some weird Rick and Morty things that didn't turn out all that pleasant. I guess it was kind of like what was it? It was like his Five Nights at Freddy's theories that he did on game theory and all that, and I subscribed to game theory. And then when he launched food theory, I did that too. He's also in Five Nights at Freddy's the film, which take for that what you will. I love this guy. Pardon me, I didn't mean to do that. I love this guy. I think he's the biggest Mr. Rogers of YouTube, probably. And we'll get to the original Mr. Rogers of YouTube, but I think he's the most Mr. Rogers of YouTube, honestly. He's just a great guy to be around, honestly. And he's not, terminally online either, necessarily. He's just there to just kind of make like an empire. And I think a lot of people are just kind of jealous of him in the fact that he's got 5 channels that all have like over 2 million subscribers each, at least. So yeah, I honestly really enjoy MatPat. Do I agree with every single theory he may present? Oh no. No. But he is a great guy. He is a great YouTuber, I believe, and he brings in a lot of the his team and all that to like his kind of smaller theories and all that, which I really do enjoy, all that type of thing. Yeah, and he stopped doing that weird thing that he was doing. If you watched, I don't know, the D podcast, he stopped doing that weird thing with that one Rick and Morty thing where he was kind of doing a whole sketch or something. That was a very, very weird video, but he didn't do that anymore, so that's good. So because of all that, I would put him in superior. I know, color me shocked. That's just me, you know. It may not be you, but that's just me. Anyway, though, NerdSync got into this channel when he started, I guess a couple years ago, when he did those big videos with, like, I think he did Scooby-Doo. I remember the one with Bob Ross. The Bob Ross video was peak NerdSync right here. But yeah, this guy is very, very talented, great editor. He's pretty funny when he wants to be. It's just that there's a few things that kind of hold me back from him being superior. One is and not necessarily his fault, I get, but he was working with Super Carlin Brothers, and he had to stop working for them because his content was drying up. So he had to kind of redo everything. And second, he kind of did a lot of I don't even know necessarily. I don't know. Some of his videos weren't necessarily all that gripping to me as much as they were in the past, like he did with the Bob Ross thing. Nowadays, I don't know. He just does a lot of Scooby-Doo-ness, and then he talks about this, you know, like this recent video was, I guess he was playing this game and all that, like Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed and all that, like it was an original thing, and most of it was just play footage and all that. It was fine, you know, it wasn't like peak NerdSync, right? I like more of his, I don't know, scripted informational videos and all that, but that one was just like, he's kind of going off the cuff, I guess. I don't know. All in all, a really good fellow, let me just say. A really decent fellow. And I wouldn't mind collabing with him and doing all that type of stuff. And I love a lot of his videos. I still watch the Bob Ross one on repeat and rent-free in my head. That's probably the most YouTuber thing you've probably heard me ever say, ever. So, because of that, he's an awesome tier. Just a lot of his videos, not necessarily my taste. Otherwise, he'd be superior, honestly. But anyway, Johnny Two Cellos. I've gotten into his video when I got on a rampage about, you know, cartoon and cartoon humor, I guess, this year. That's a whole other rabbit hole that I went down this year, where I subscribed to many of the cartoon channels that you will see today, actually. But anyway, Johnny Two Cellos. His vids are very, very well edited, let me tell you. A lot of his opinions and all that, and a lot of his reviews, I basically fully endorse and agree with. And actually, he made me want to watch a lot of the a lot of the shows that I didn't necessarily think were all that enjoyable, I guess. I mean, he got me into watching oh gosh, what is it? It was a while ago when I started watching it, but it was the Venture Brothers. There we go. He did a vid about the Venture Brothers, Brock Sampson and all that, and I was like, oh wait, this is actually pretty funny. Might as well watch it. And I did. And it was actually pretty funny. So there you go. The only thing that I have to say about this guy, is that, and to be fair, I love his vids and all that. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to not, cause any drama or whatever. But if I'm being completely honest with you, he does a lot of Rick and Morty and a lot of Futurama and a lot of BoJack Horseman, and he doesn't necessarily divulge from that. I mean, that's basically the bulk of his content, I guess, which gets fairly old, especially when like a lot of the shows aren't really airing anymore. And I mean, he does cartoons that curse, and the past few podcast videos were just episode recaps on the Futurama news show and all that. And granted, right, the Hulu version of the show I personally think is really good, but I don't think it was worth, whole podcast vids on that. And it's he's very, very heavily into Futurama, very, very heavily into BoJack Horseman. Now, is that wrong? No. Is that bad? No. Okay, don't get me wrong. But if you're an adult animation, I guess, YouTube channel, or an animation YouTube channel, I would, kind of want a little bit more variety. And granted, right, he does some variety, but I was like a little bit more of the variety to shine forth, maybe one vid of BoJack or Futurama a month if you have to, and then all the rest is just original content. But that's just my personal taste. Again, don't derate me in the comments below, but I do enjoy his vids. Therefore, I'm putting him in awesome tier. If he did just a little bit more variety, he'd be superior by every stretch of the imagination. Anyway, though, hats off. This guy does amazing work, okay? I cannot believe that he does not have actual stick puppet figure things, actually working for every video and all that. That's just amazing. The amount of editing, the amount of amazing work that this man puts into his vids, chef's kiss. I wish he would put out more, but I was looking back and he put out like at least a vid a month for the past, year and all that. And this is also one of the animation YouTubers that I kind of fell in love with as well, But honestly, this is everything I want Johnny Two Cellos to be, honestly. And granted, I love Johnny Two Cellos. Don't get me wrong. That's why he's an awesome tier. But this is peak. I would love to meet this man and just say hats off to the Hats Off YouTube channel. And I loved his anime, thumbnails, which is really interesting. And the only real critique I would have of his channel is that theme song is not necessarily the best theme song, but other than that, that's it. Because everything else is just peak YouTube. It's the only thing that I can. It's the YouTube channel that I would wish I could be. Let's put it that way. I just don't have the time or the resources to really do that. But he is peak level. So, S tier. S tier all day. All day, son. All frickin' day. I just wish he had, more vids, but then again, he would probably kill himself, honestly. Nope, on Minecraft, of course, but he'd probably, just die from exhaustion if he had to make more vids in that awesome quality he has. Okay, if he's had to do more, So, yeah, this guy is criminally underrated. It needs more subs. So subscribe to him, all 300 of you. But yeah, just sub to him. He's a great fellow. Anyway, Man of 1,000 Thoughts. He's one of the people that I went on the animation trend that I had on YouTube and all that. I actually met this guy at MomoCon, and he's actually pretty friendly, and I really enjoy him. And honestly, yeah, I'm a big fan of his. He talks about, he's more of the, he's more of the news or the new animation guy that I kind of follow, because he's the one that kind of releases a new video whenever a new animated thing comes out. And I watch his vid to see how it all works out and all that. And honestly, yeah, I appreciate his foray and his reviews and all that. Is it the best edited stuff ever created? Not necessarily, but I think his personality shines through and all that. So yeah, I would probably put him in awesome territory as well. I would just personally like his, he does a thought from man or whatever, where he kind of just, I don't even know how to put it. He scripts the videos out, records himself saying it, and then kind of mimes if he's saying what he's saying, but he doesn't actually say it. It's kind of funny in its own right. But yeah, I wish we'd do more of those videos, but he's been doing a lot of voiceover videos lately, which everyone kind of does. But what can you do? I mean, you gotta get that grind, gotta get that dough, but all that type of stuff. Anyways, great guy, love his vids, keep up the great work, man. Toonerific Tariq, my gosh, man. My gosh, this man, this myth, this legend, every Peanut special reviewed, all the volumes, I love every volume of every Peanut special reviewed, and I've watched them as they've come out. I'm probably the only one, though, because he stopped making them because no one's watching him, apparently, but it's just that great. I've loved his vids. I met him as well at MomoCon recently, and he was just a joy to behold, let's put it that way. No bias whatsoever, but his vids are just amazing. They're top tier. There's some animation mixed in. There's some really high cussing. There's a lot of but the jokes, they land, okay? They're like imagine, I don't know, Moist Critical. Imagine him if he put more memes into his vids. Sort of a mixture of like Moist Critical and Moist Critical's personality and MatPat's, focus on memes and all that. Just mix them both together, add a little bit of flavor, and you get Toonerific Tariq. And I mean that in all the best ways. He's the most consistent out of I believe he's the most consistent out of most of the superior ones, like even Hats Off and all that. But he has had done more Lucy's, I guess. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. I don't want to sit here and say, oh yeah, his personal life sucks. I don't want to say that. I don't know, and I don't really want to know, because that's his own personal life and all that, whatever. you do you, my guy. But still, his bigger videos are just amazing. The memes, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. The Lucy's aren't that bad either. They do have like a little bit less memes and a little bit less of the his personality shining through. I don't know, but less of the funny stuff, but still just amazing vids. So I'd probably put him in S tier as well. Right behind Hats Off. Great vids, just amazing stuff he does. And he also has been doing some live streams with some kind of, I think it's Monopoly or something. I watched a couple of them. They're pretty sweet. I got them saved to my queue. I'm just waiting to watch and listen to all that stuff down there. Yeah. Wavy Web Surf. I watched him when he was doing like the history of memes and all that type of thing. Yeah. I like that. I like the whole, good, wholesome stuff that he used to do. But nowadays, he's kind of going into the darker route, which I don't necessarily like, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, more views. There's more views in there. There are more views in them darn hills, if whatever. But his meme histories and all that, chef's kiss. I love those things. They were amazing. But yeah, he's just becoming another channel that's kind of just talking about random stuff, like some dark stuff and all that. Like, one of his vids is just like Redditors who face justice and all that. And I'm like, okay, dude, no, that's not what I subscribed to your channel for. Yeah, please stop. Anyway, I still say his vids are fairly good. I just wish he did more of the meme histories and all that, because there's a lot of memes to talk about. I don't know. He just doesn't necessarily want to do that anymore, and that's not where his channel went. Hey, if he's happy, more power to him, but I wouldn't. If I saw what he's putting out today, I wouldn't necessarily sub to him, let's put it that way. But I'm just holding out hope there's more, goodness and all that. Like, it covers more good stuff and all that, not necessarily the bad that is in the world. Anyway, Chris Stuckman. Now, he's had some highs and some lows. Let's get to the highs. I mean, if you've seen the D podcast episodes and all that, this man is my favorite YouTuber of all time, without question. I don't know, I just like his candidness. I just like his the way he edits. He'll probably be my favorite until he does something completely and horribly awful. I don't know, but I don't think he is going to, but anytime soon. But, you'll never say never. Boogie 2988 anybody. Anyway. But yeah, so here's the thing. There's a few things that I love about him. Like, I've gone into detail. You can watch the D podcast episodes about him. But there's some things I don't necessarily quite like either. Like, for instance, he doesn't watch everything anymore, which is to be expected because he's now a filmmaker and all that. But also, I kind of wish he would watch everything and give ratings on that, because I like that. I don't know. But then again, he is growing as a person and all that. He's becoming a filmmaker and all that type of thing, so I guess there's that as well. I don't know. Also, his vid count this year has been really underdone, especially in the early part of 2023, which is disappointing, but is basically because he was making his film and all that, all that type of stuff, which I actually did went to his crowdfunding thing and actually, gave him a little bit of cash to finish the film and all that type of thing. So there's that too. I guess he also was in some controversy where I guess he stopped talking to his YouTuber friends like John Flickinger, who is not on this list. He probably should be, but he's not on the list. But he stopped talking to John Flickinger. He stopped talking to Matt and all that, although he's got some vids in there. And the only... it's very weird because John Flickinger kind of... He didn't necessarily, come out and say, oh, yeah, he sucks now. But he just kind of offhandedly mentioned that Chris hasn't talked to him in a very long time. He'll just leave it at that. And then the last real thing that I heard from, Chris on him saying anything was that he's got the last Halloween film that he hasn't, watched, I guess. He did a review for on John Flickinger's channel and all that. And yeah, that's it. Which, that's the first thing you're going to mention on him. He's his buddy and all that. Okay. You're not going to really talk about that. You're going to say you're not going to have a video with him or anything. That's a little sus there. Also, and this is probably my OCD-ness, and he's incredibly OCD as well. But he hasn't reviewed every single Halloween film. He hasn't reviewed Halloween Ends. So there's that. I'm kind of upset with that. And yeah, I mean, there you go. There you go, I guess. He hasn't reviewed a lot of the vids that I would like to have seen from him. Like, he hasn't reviewed M. Night Shyamalan's new films and all that, which I would like to see his take on because that's his personal favorite director or something, like one of his favorite directors, but he just won't review it probably because it sucks and he doesn't want to review that. Granted, that's his own right, but I would like to see a lot of his takes on stuff. But yeah, anyway, he is still my fave. I will watch every vid that he makes. But because of all this weird stuff he's doing, I'm gonna put him, surprising enough, borderline superior. But I'm gonna put him awesome right now, just simply because there's a lot of weirdness. There's a lot of weird to his what's going on right now and no response and all that, which is kind of weird. I don't know. It's bizarre. This is bizarre to say the least. I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. John Campea. You want to talk about some cringe choices? Oh gosh. So Johnny C, he's another favorite that I've had. I have talked about him on the D podcast and all that. And I mentioned this on the D podcast as well, I think, but just in case, there's Johnny C, John Campea on the D podcast. Go check that out. I'm not going to dive into how much I love this man, but because, yeah, I already did that already. We only have a limited amount of time here, so we're just going to move on. But yeah, something really just baffling and just utterly just dumb, I guess, kind of came out with Johnny C. And that was he decided, like, I don't know, 7 months ago to rebrand his entire channel and do podcasts without video, just out of nowhere. Just completely out of nowhere. I saw a community post saying, yeah, we're going to do podcast episodes. Like, we're effective immediately. We're not going to do any live shows anymore. And I was like, what? Where did this come from? So yeah, the first vids that he posted were not even live. They were just segmented because apparently he got a lot more views from shorter segments. So he just decided to do the podcast with very, very limited editing, very, very limited camera work, but just post shorter segments of his longer podcast. And for the longer podcast people, he put it behind a paywall, which I was just dumbstruck. Eventually, he got the idea and, he went back, which after he got criticized for it, he just decided to do it off the top of his head, just off the top again. It's just weird. It's so bizarre. Why would you do that? I mean, I would, if it was look, if he really wanted to do this and it was a gradual buildup, right? I would not like it, but I would respect it. But it just came out of nowhere, and I was like, what? Why? Huh? I didn't even know. Huh? So, oh gosh, yeah, that is, oh wow. Anyway, though, he did a complete rebrand, and now he does the John Campea Show podcast instead of just saying the John Campea podcast. He's been doing this for years, but instead he's just deciding to do the John Campea Show podcast. And that's what his streams are now, I guess. He still does live streams and all that now. Okay. I haven't seen, because of this baffling, stupid thing, I haven't seen of any of his vids, any of his streams, because I'm just that mad. I'm mad at him for doing that. Now, granted, from what I've seen, it's been pretty decent, I guess, but still, I mean, the final straw too was when he kind of had to dial it back because with Robert Meyer Burnett, who, by the way, is one of the best people he has on his, whole thing and all that, his whole podcast, his show, whatever you want to call it. And he had to cut him down to part-time because the money wasn't coming in, even though he bought a brand new house. He's renting office space or something. He's buying office space. I don't know. He bought a Tesla. He bought a charging space for his Tesla. And this is widely known. He keeps on talking about his Tesla and all that. I mean, he's basically become Boogie 2988. And I'm just like, what the heck, John? No, stop talking about your Tesla, please. Can you sell your Tesla in order to get Robert Meyer Burnett back? Okay, come on now. Oh my gosh. What the hell, John? it's just a lot of baffling, stupid decisions with this man, and yeah, his content has suffered as of late. I think that's probably the reason why he decided to go back to live streaming, because, yeah, he just has such a royal flush, just a royal backlash to it. Rightfully so. But, yeah, I mean, Robert Meyer Burnett, as I am aware, again, I haven't seen any new vids from Johnny C, but as of now, yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett, he's back on the pod, I think. He's back on the show, or at least he's still on the show, I don't know. But yeah, baffling, just baffling. And I'm not gonna say it's necessarily wrong for him to do this, but he could have planned this out a lot better. Let me just say it outright. And I'm not going to say that he's not going to be awesome again. Like, I would put him as awesome again, but just that huge, giant miscalculation right there for his fans and for the great, like, his career is just absolutely dumbfounding and stupid. So I'm gonna put him in not good. I know, I'm sorry, John. You could be good. You could be good again. You're just, I'm sorry, and it hurts me because I'm a big fan of yours. I would love to meet you, but I'm sorry. That was just wrong. I'm sorry. It was just awful. It was terrible what you did with that decision and all that. It could have been handled differently. And again, I don't know what I would do in that situation, but yeah, I'm dumbstruck. I was just dumbstruck. Anyway, though, Ned's Declassified Pod Survival Guide. I'm gonna just talk about Podco for a little bit. Because this is part of the Podco, set of podcasts, if you will. Yeah, a lot of them are not my cup of tea. A lot of them, they're just random actors and actresses that have technically appeared in a show, but they may not be necessarily the main stars of the show, but they're reviewing a half-hour amount of show from a Nickelodeon or a Disney Channel show, and they basically review it and talk about their experiences and all that. And yeah, it's cringe. A lot of it's really cringe, but a lot of it can be pretty decent. I watch Wizards of Waverly Pod and all that, and I get it, right? There's a lot of, there's these people, they do have good chemistry and all that. I just don't necessarily want to watch, the little sister and the dad of the three main wizards on Wizards of Waverly Place, I'm just going to turn on the slide. You might hear something right here. Oh, there you go. But anyway, I don't really want to hear about that. I kind of would like to, watch a Wizards of Waverly podcast with them still on it, but also have Selena as a main contributor, probably, or even the other two wizards that were pretty popular. I forget their names, but have them on at least. Why is it just these two, And even Full House Rewind, they released like the first vid, and then there was a huge break in between, the first vid that they did and the second one that they did. And I get it. the writer's strike and all that, but I thought they had stuff still saved up. And, you know, Wizards of Waverly Pod had pod episodes saved up. What is it? The Even Stevens podcast had videos saved up. But yeah, Joey Gladstone didn't. And the only one that is on this podcast was Joey Gladstone. They couldn't even get Jesse or anyone else to be with Joey on this podcast, which is really weird. Anyway, enough of that. I still watch these pods and all that, but overall, they're a C tier, in my opinion. Like, most of them are C tier, especially Even Stevens podcast, because if you don't know, the Christy, the main girl on the Even Stevens show and all that, and the voice of Kim Possible, she's basically the head run, the CEO of Podco and all that, and I'm probably gonna get blocked on Twitter or X or whatever it is for this. I don't care. A lot of the pods are kind of cringe. They're just kind of asking for more work or something, you know. This is great. We had a great time. Give us more work, Disney. I don't know. Whatever. It's just the same old, same old. It's just, okay, come on. Just get some good stuff here. That being said, all that criticism aside, Ned's Declassified Pod Survival Guide is the best pod they've got. And I think they know that because I think they release the most videos out of anybody in Podco, which is kind of interesting. I mean, the Even Stevens podcast, that hasn't really been posting a whole lot anymore. I mean, Christie's kind of doing Big Name Bitches now, which is this whole other pod, doing Vulnerable podcast, which is okay. But the Ned's Declassified Pod Survival Guide has been the most consistent and has been the biggest one that they've got. And it feels like, you know, this one is the one that I've wanted to see. Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, peak television. They are never, ever, ever going to do an adult survival guide show like iCarly or anything like that. They're not going to reboot this show, okay? Unfortunately. I would love it if they did. There's no way this is going to happen. But these actors, okay, they're together. The chemistry's there. It seems like you're just jumping right back into the chemistry from the show and all that. I don't know what they did. They did this probably completely on accident because none of the other pods seem this light and this, energetic as much as this pod is. It's breathtaking. Let me tell you, it is absolutely the best pod Podco has ever made. And for that reason, this gets an A tier. My gosh. Chef's kiss. Mwah. Perfect. This is the best pod they've made. Without question. Without question. Adam the Creator. This is a meme person I found on Instagram and all that. He makes a lot of fantastic, wonderful memes. A lot of the jokes are done to death. Yes. Are they great though? Yes, they are. Absolutely. I haven't seen a lot of his posts quite yet as of late. Let me just look him up real fast and see if he's actually posted anything. Adam the Creator. There we go. Let's see where his latest one is. Oh, it's in October. Yeah. okay, that's been a while ago. And yeah, it's kind of sad to say the least. Because his vids, yeah, that was, his posts were really, really funny and really, really great. But yeah, he hasn't posted in a while, so I'm just gonna put not posted in a while. Although his stuff is great, you should go, follow him on Instagram and all that great stuff. Anyway, Talkville. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's another major criticism. Oh gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm of course gonna get blocked by Chrissy Carson Romero on all the social medias. Whatever. I don't care. But another thing I got for the Podco is the fact that you get a video, right? You get a pod about one episode of the show, but then you get two episodes not about the show. One maybe a mailbag or something, and another one will be like just something random. And it's happened with every single Podco podcasts. It's very bizarre. I mean, even the guy from Boy Meets World, right? He was Ron Stoppable on Kim Possible and all that, and they did like their own like PG cartoon show where voice actors and all that. I mean, they didn't even finish. They didn't even get to 10 episodes, and then for some reason, I don't even know, but I don't know, the guy from Boy Meets World, Eric from Boy Meets World, just left, I guess, and made Pod Meets World, which is it's a Boy Meets World podcast and all that. And that one is like, makes a lot more sense. But every single episode in Podco is just one episode, then mailbag, then something random, something totally bizarre. But at least, Pod Meets World, at least you get like an episode, you get a review of an episode, then you get an interview from someone in the main cast or something, and then you get another episode. It's just that consistent, it's that consistent. But yeah, I don't know. Talkville, on the other hand, and it's even true with Nested Classified Pod Survival Guide. They even do that same old. I don't know. I would like less mailbag and more of them talking about a specific episode. But I get it. They don't have a lot of episodes to really talk about. So they gotta, crank out as many pod episodes as they can. Anyway, though, yeah. Talkville, though, this is the answer to all of my criticisms with Podco, and that is they go into each and every episode. It's the main stars of the show. It's Lex Luthor from the show, who's a pretty big star, and Superman himself, Clark, the guy who plays Clark on Smallville. Yeah, they're both in this. Shocker, I know, but they're together and they're in this podcast. One checkmark done. It's mostly just the entirety of the show. They just go into each and every episode of the show and review every episode of the show. Another checkmark. Boom, done. And they actually have some criticism. They aren't just saying, "Oh yeah, this is the best I've ever seen," and all that. This is the best. Just give me more more jobs, Disney or Nickelodeon or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they actually dive into, this wasn't that great. This part wasn't that great, but I don't even remember. A lot of it's like, I don't even remember filming this thing, honestly. It's just kind of a blur, but yeah, Another check. Great job. There are like maybe at the most one mailbag episode specifically after each and every season, okay? So you get like 25 episodes. Maybe you get some mailbag, get some video or phone calls or emails or whatever, the mailbag type of crap, which, it's fine. It's just, I don't really enjoy, but, you get that at the end of each episode, but then you get one dedicated to the mailbag at the end of each season. So you get that. Yes, check. That's close enough. I mean, there you go. I love that. I say, and I've watched a lot of these podcasts, probably a lot more than I should, but honestly, this is the best. This is the creme de la creme of podcasts for this stuff. And I like Ryan even, okay? And Ryan is just like a Michael Rosenbaum's buddy who helps him out with his podcasts and all that, There you go. So that being said, yeah, S tier. Superior. It's the creme de la creme, okay? This is what all rewatch podcasts should achieve to be. Now, not to say that Ned's Declassified Pod Survival Guide is not superior level, okay? It's just a little bit more of the podco stuff that I don't necessarily like. If they just cut that out, they would be an S tier all day. Anyway, Scott Kramer, this is the last of the trio of YouTubers that I just find to be my favorites out of all of them. I mean, number one would be Chris Stuckman. Number two used to be John Campea. Number three, Scotty C. Okay, come on now. Scotty C, come on now. Okay, this guy makes videos about a lot of random stuff, but he does it in the most fun and hilarious way, right? It's kind of hilarious how he does it, honestly. He pokes fun at himself. He does more traveling than Johnny Harris these days. I know, shocking. No harshness toward Johnny Harris, but just please go to Switzerland more at least, or something. I don't know. Anyway, if you know, you know. Anyway, Scott Kramer puts a lot of hard work into his videos. They are mostly, I think 99% of them are very well good-natured videos and all that. He even does a second channel where he does tier lists too. But it's, again, the most random stuff. Like, he did every Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon that came out this year. He did every state's license plate, did every state's driver's license, every state flag, which I'm thinking about, he's inspiring me to kind of do that too. I don't know. If I'm dried for content, I might as well just do that, but I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, Scott Kramer is the man, the myth, the legend. He's also a family man. He doesn't show his kid a whole lot, which I gotta say, top tier level. Chris, also as a kid, he doesn't, show them anymore either. Just show them maybe one picture, offhand mention or whatever, but, I don't know. Scott, it's got a heart of gold, man. He's got a heart of gold. Love his vids. Love for him to, make some more and all that. The one thing that kind of happened, and it's not necessarily any, drama or whatever, but there was a point, I think, in this year, I think it was this year, I can't even remember, where he stopped posting for a month, And I was like, what happened? Is he dead? And it was like for an extended period of time. And I was like, where is he? Where did he go? Why am I not seeing Scott Kramer? I am having a midlife crisis and I'm 27 or 26. Where is he? Where is Scott? Where is Scott? I need some goodness in my life. Where is Scott? But eventually he did come back and everything's fine with the world. Okay, there we go. Anyway though, he's a fabulous YouTuber. He's one of my faves. And again, not a whole lot of criticism going his way. He does a lot of collabs too, which I gotta say, chef's kiss to that. I would love to collab with him on his, his vids and all that. Like the one series he's got with, oh gosh, what is it? Where he does watch the first episode of a show and then guesses what happens in the rest of the show. I would love to be on that because I've got a ton of TV shows that I've seen that he probably hasn't seen, and I would love to do that. But yeah, that's kind of a hopeless dream that maybe will come true. I dare say. I hope beyond hope. But anyway, there's that at least. So with that further ado, Scott Kramer, of course, S tier. My gosh, just perfection. He also lives in North Dakota, and I used to live in Detroit, so we kind of got the North. It's not he doesn't live in necessarily the Midwest, but we get each other. We experience a lot of the sameness there. Cold. Anyway, Daniel Green. This is another section of YouTube I went down this year. It was BookTube. I discovered BookTube, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I know, I'm late to the game. I started doing some book reviews as well because of people like Daniel Green. Now, to be fair, okay, so is he my favorite booktuber of all time? No, but he does have a lot of great aspects to him. Like, he has a lot of chaotic energy. He's got a lot of charisma. And he's got a lot of sympathy and all that. I'm all about Daniel Green. The one thing I kind of don't necessarily like about his vids, about one part of his vids, or one section of his vids, and then one thing that he does in every single video that I don't necessarily like, but we'll get to it. This is two things. The one section of videos I don't like of his is how he roasts bookshelves. I don't know. It's just very off-putting to me. I don't necessarily like that he roasts bookshelves, and I get it. Fans, they tell him to do it, and you gotta follow the money. But still, I just wish that he wouldn't do that. It's just, I don't know. He just seems like, I don't know. It's just very off-putting to me. Let's put it that way. Also, in every video, he has this handheld part where he just has to insert it into the video and all that, and I don't like that. I don't like how he inserts something into every video, like with the handheld phone video or something like that. No, I don't like that. But other than that, I do think that this guy is a really, really decent YouTuber and all that. He's very down to earth. He's very nice. I watch all of his videos, especially his reviews on The Dark Tower, which is actually something that I am currently reading, as you saw in the community tab and all that. I'm a slower reader, unfortunately, so keep with me. It'll probably be for the better part of the next year I'll be reading this one book. But anyway, yeah, Daniel Green, he's still a pretty decent YouTuber. I wouldn't put him as awesome, because he puts, I don't like that insert shot that he puts in every video. So I'm going to put him in good. He is a great YouTuber, don't get me wrong. not bashing him at all. I just wish that one handheld part of the video he puts in every video, I just wish he wouldn't necessarily do that. Anyway, though, Mike's book reviews. This is actually, which one was the first? I think this might have been the first. This might have been the first BookTube channel that I subscribed to, I think. I subscribed to a lot. I subscribed to some booktuber, quote unquote booktuber channels before, but this is the first actual, I would consider the first real booktuber that I would consider like a huge booktuber that I actually subscribe to, I think. So, with that being said, this guy, I think, is a very, very well done booktuber and all that. I've seen all of his Stephen King vids and all that, Actually got me into more into The Dark Tower. He is a Stephen King fanatic. He is the Stephen King incarnate, if you will. Now, to be fair, the one thing that's kind of funny is that, the stereotype with Stephen King readers is that most of them, not all of them, but most of them are dads. And he's not necessarily, like I said before, with the Stephen King pod vid that we put on D Podcasts, he's not necessarily changing that stereotype because he is a dad and he is a little bit older. But other than that, I like his personality, and I like the fact that he does very little editing to his vids too. Deposed of Daniel Green of just high class editing and all that, and sometimes using AI thumbnails, which nope. Anyway, but Mike's book reviews, I mean, he's a finance guy. He does some finance on the side too, but YouTube is kind of his side project, and he just talks about books and all that, and it actually comes across. You see like he's, a guy that loves books, that just wants to talk about books, and he's cultivated a following that seems to want to do the same and all that. And I personally think that a lot of his vids are really, really good. I would personally say, yeah. I mean, his Into the Multiverse series I really enjoyed. I wish that he would get back on it, because there's a lot more King videos to talk, review Into the Multiverse wise and all that, but whatever. It's up to him. That's up to him, I guess. But I guess whatever. Anyway, the one criticism I would say about him is that while there is very minimal editing in his vids, there is a lot of stuff that just pops on the screen that I'm just like, why did you put this here? I know you're referencing your other videos, but there is a thing for that. There's a tag. You can tag videos when you mention it on YouTube. You don't need to show the thumbnail for the other video on the video. You can just tag it. And sometimes he does tag it, but it's just kind of like, why? Why do you do that? I would think it's a little bit more overkill. Let's put it that way. Anyway, though, all that being said, he reached over 100K subs, which I gotta say, bravo, gentleman, bravo. Just keep up the great work. And yeah, there you are. Great guy. And I just wish he could read stuff faster, but then again, he's he doesn't listen to audiobooks. He actually reads his books, so there you go. Yeah, anyway, though, all that being said and done, I'm putting him in A tier. Awesome tier. Just, if he did like a little bit, I don't know how he could be superior in my eyes. He's fairly decent. I think his video is just a tad bit too long, probably, for my personal taste. But I won't, hurt him because he makes longer vids for my liking. I get it. You gotta get the analytics and all that. But yeah, obviously a great channel and all that. I mean, hey, Moist Critical is in this level, okay? I would consider that a win. Okay, there you go. Anyway, Dominic Noble. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't looked into his channel that hard. I didn't dissect his channel, but I believe maybe he was part of Channel Awesome. I think he may have been the adaptation guy, where you talk about adaptations on books and movies and stuff like that. I don't know. But anyway, I found his channel way after Channel Awesome. Yeah, where after he left, if he was there. I don't know. Anyway, after he was there. And yeah, he's a fabulous folk and all that type of guy. He's I would say he's my least favorite booktuber, though, unfortunately. And the reason why I have him on here is because I just watched a lot of his vids to the point where I probably had to include him. But yeah, he posts a lot. Let me just say that up front. But he apparently he also is like a fanatic for George R.R. Martin, I guess, and he even had like his own special sit down with George, which I gotta say, hey, hats off to you. I mean, you could have asked him about Winds of Winter, but whatever. Anyway, sort of like Poland Books or a Christine from Extine May or whatever I think her name is, like Poland Books and all that. She met Stephanie Meyer, the Twilight person, because she loves Twilight. Yeah, she's not on this list because I haven't seen a lot of her videos this year, and she hasn't posted a lot this year. All that being said, anyway, Dominic Noble. His videos are very well informed. However, his skits are not funny. I'm sorry. I don't find his skits funny. That just might be my sense of humor. I'm not criticizing the lack of me enjoying his humor and all that. He enjoys doing them, so hey, I'm not going to say he shouldn't do it necessarily, right? He says beautiful watchers a lot, and it's gotten to the point where he said it in one of his sketches, and it was just so cringe. I'm sorry. I don't like, everyone's beautiful in their own way, granted, but I don't know, just the way it's said, I don't like. I don't know why. I don't, maybe it's just the repetitiveness. I don't like the repetitiveness on this channel and all that, where he just, let's talk adaptation. Hello, my beautiful watchers. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't like that aspect. And again, I don't know why. I like the repetitiveness on John Campea or Johnny C. I don't like the repetitiveness on his channel. I don't know why. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Dominic and all that, Some things he does say are pretty funny, like when he did the 50 Shades of Grey thing and he experienced, BDSM and all that type of thing. A lot of those jokes that he said it was on him and all that, okay, that was funny. I'll give him that. But it's just, if I really want to do a deep dive into a, book series or whatever, I'll probably go to his channel because he does a lot of really, really well, concise spoilers, I guess, what happens in every section of the book, basically. But other than that, I mean, that's probably it. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put him as not good, but he's, in my opinion, don't hurt me in the comments, but he's on the borderline between not good and good. So I'm gonna put him right here. I just wish he would be, I guess, more my style of humor. I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway, though, Drew Gooden, speaking of humor, this man is my humor. I found him online as well. I got into this Scott Kramer binge, and I was like, who else is like Scott Kramer? And apparently, Drew Gooden showed up in my recommendations, and I was like, well, let's see what he's got. And I fell in love with this man, even though I'm straight. But anyway. But yeah, this guy is one of the Viners, actually. One of the more popular Viners on Vine. And then when Vine collapsed, he transported himself to YouTube like Logan Paul. So there you go. But other than that, I mean, other than that one thing, he's done just wonders on YouTube. I mean, his sketches are immaculate. They are so utterly hilarious. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does different from Dominic or whatever, but it works. It makes me laugh every single time. Almost like how just bombastic expression that, Moist Critical says when he does his vids a lot. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Drew Gooden, he's done a lot of vids as well. He's been kinda, let me see here. I think he's been doing a little bit more of the, not commentary, not, the commentary style of YouTube, but he's been doing more, let's see here. He's been doing a lot more movies, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, that's just fairly recently. So the last couple episodes last couple of vids he did was specifically about Star Wars and TV, the worst horror movie or whatever. But yeah, a lot of the stuff is just kind of like. A lot of his stuff is mostly like Scott Kramer, where he does the most random thing. And yeah, but he goes a little bit more into the more popular stuff to rant on, like Star Wars and all that, which, granted, but still, But yeah, the funniness is gold. I love his wife, Amanda, not in that way. I love her personality and how she interacts with Drew and all that. I just wish I'm one of those people that are like, hey, can Amanda be more on the channel, please? Because she's just that great. Drew's also great, but Amanda's also really great too. They should be, love them both. Love Drew. Love his content. Love his vids. His skits are just awesome, and I love when he does those Instagram ad buys and all that, and I get it, there's a lot of money, so he probably wouldn't be doing that a whole lot, but gotta do it more, my guy. It would be just the bee's knees. So I'm putting him in superior as well. He's just that great. He's hilarious. Jax Films, or Jax Films, if you will. Yeah, he I actually found him out when the whole Sniper Wolf thing kind of came out and all that. And come to find out, he's actually a pretty wholesome guy. I don't know why I didn't really watch his vids, but he's a pretty good, chill guy and all that. It's actually pretty interesting, to say the least. And yeah, I love his critiquing Sniper Wolf vids, but now he's doing more, critiquing, complicit people with their content and all that, which I gotta say, pretty decent of him. Jax Films, he doesn't necessarily post a whole lot on Jax Films as of recently, mainly because of what went down, but the stuff that he did was actually really good, I gotta say. I mean, let me see here. One of my favorite vids he did was one with Scott the Woz, but let me just give you one vid recommendation here. There's a lot of Sniper Wolf stuff, but there was some vids he did that I remember liking. He does a lot of Twitch stuff. I don't really watch his Twitch streams and all that. I don't know. I can't remember what the video's name is, but great guy, great streamer, great person and all that. I don't really watch his streams a whole lot. I maybe watched one stream where he did the Sniper Wolf thing, but other than that, yeah, I'd probably put him on the same line of awesome, because he's just that great of a guy. Probably the same with Moist Critical. If I watched his streams more, I probably put him higher. But yeah, that's that. Sniper Wolf, do I even have to explain her? Do I even have to explain her? I remember when my sister was watching Sniper Wolf, and I was dumb shocked. I could not believe that she did that. It was like a couple years ago, granted, but still, I could not believe that she was watching Sniper Wolf videos on her iPad or something. It was... I was dumb shocked. I was utterly dumb shocked. Get her off the platform. I'm not going to go into that, because everyone who's terminally online has done videos on Sniper Wolf. If you haven't seen the videos breaking that down, I recommend those. But yeah, no, get her off. Get her off now. H Balmer guy. I actually found him when I watched another series, like another video from Todd in the Shadows, and he mentioned H Bomber guy and the Illuminati situation, which we'll get into fairly soon. She mentioned H Bomber guy, and I was like, who is H Bomber guy? So I watched a couple of his vids, and apparently he doesn't upload a whole lot. He actually uploads fairly rarely, maybe once a year at the most as of late. Because this past vid was all about plagiarism on YouTube. And yeah, there's a lot of plagiarism on YouTube. And we kind of need to stop that. But anyway, yeah. I think that vid was pretty well done, in my opinion at least. I mean, half of it was based on James Somerton or whatever, but still, I didn't include him because he privated his channel. Oh no! But yeah, if he was here, I'd probably put him on same as a Sniper Wolf and all that, because it's just plagiarized to death. Anyway, but yeah, I watched that. I watched his Roblox video. But yeah, he hasn't posted in a while, so I'll just put him right there, because he hasn't posted in a while. Other than the plagiarism video, but his vids are really great. You should probably watch him as well. But I can't really give a whole lot because A, he hasn't posted in a while. B, I haven't binged his entire channel as of now. So yeah, but he hasn't posted in a while right there. I liked his shirt. I thought it was just a bit, but turns out it's in every video because he's H-Bomber guy. There you go. So yeah. Dream, there's been some Dream allegations, so I thought I might as well bring it up. I thought, the Minecraft stuff, when he does Minecraft stuff anymore, that's really good. But I guess he's been also terminally online as well, especially with his face reveal afterward and all that. He's even more terminally online. Apparently he's released a new vid about all the backlash and all that, but still, I mean, come on. I'm sick and tired of all the Dream stuff. I don't really want to talk about this guy. It's a little icky for me, so I'm going to put him in not good because it's very cringe. I'm sorry. He's just... A lot of his vids that he makes, a lot of his posts that he makes is kind of cringe. And yeah, that's all I'll say on that. Illuminati, my gosh. Going down that rabbit hole. Like every YouTuber has to go down that rabbit hole. So, I won't really dive into that, but I'll dive into my experience with Illuminati, which is little, very little compared to other people who have actually had interactions with this woman. I hope I don't have that. I hope I don't have any interactions with this woman at all. Please. But anyway, yeah, she I remember watching a lot of her vids just, because they came up on my recommended, I can't even say anything anymore. Recommended tab on YouTube and all that. And I was like, oh, well, this is pretty interesting. Let me just see this. But then I dove a little bit more into her vids, and it's just utterly terrible. Like, every video is just trying to expose everybody, and it's just so... It got boring after a while. I wish she would, make some, I don't know, good news? Can she do some good news? But instead, she made all this bad stuff about these, terrible companies and the bigger companies. Oh no. Sorry, I had to take a drink there. My mouth is very dry. Anyway. But yeah, she just makes... Everything's just awful, apparently. Everything's just terrible. When everything's not all that terrible, okay? Come on now. Anyway, though. It was very well edited, which apparently she had little to no interaction with, which rightfully so, and it shows later on. I'm not going to dive into the whole thing here because I value my time and I value your time. If you really want a huge deep dive into it, there have been many YouTubers who've done videos on this. I don't really want to be that YouTuber that just dives into every single bad part of YouTube and all that. But anyway, but yeah, she's awful and I hate her now, and I blocked her. I don't even want to, do anything on her channel anymore. So yeah, get her off the platform by every stretch of the imagination. Even that stupid triangle channel that she's trying to make, get that off the platform. And it's very weird. She's the most... I will end it on this. She's the most unique out of all of these channels because her channel, after these allegations and all this stuff came out, her channel took a huge nosedive to the point where her vids are not, being recommended anymore. I haven't seen a vid from her recommended on my recommended channel, recommended feed in a very long time. Maybe because I blocked her, but still. But anyway, she gets very, very small amounts of views anymore. Like, I don't think any of her videos have cracked 100K when her vids used to get like millions of views. She went from like 1.7 million subscribers to like 1.3, so she lost 400,000 subscribers, which is unheard of from a span of a year. And she just keeps on pumping out more and more vids, and they've been just completely, utterly awful again. And also, apparently H-Bomber guy also called her out on plagiarism because she plagiarized her vid, and yeah, so there's that too. Anyway, though, on to a better person, Boogie2988. Oh, joy! Yeah, so actually, Skits is actually a big fan of Boogie2988. He hasn't watched any vids as of recently, which I gotta say, good going, Skits. Actually, I probably told him recently, good going on not watching any Boogie2988 vids because he's going off the deep end. But anyway, so yeah, Boogie2988, he's dating a 20-year-old girl when he's like pushing 50. Okay. There was this whole, the reason why I'm watching the reason why I'm commentating on this guy and not someone like EDP4428 or whoever he is, because I never watched him and I don't care to. But I have seen some Boogie2988 vids, including his fat guy falling into a pool and all that. I've seen his, couple of his Francis videos and all that, But yeah, apparently, this huge documentary came out where Boogie exposed himself, basically. Not, actually exposed himself, but exposed his whole lifestyle and how he just hoards. I won't get into it because everyone on the internet's done this, but he just hoards a ton of crap to the point where I even question, do I really need all my stuff? It also got to the point where he was in a considerable amount of debt, and the reason why he still has to make payments on his house is because he paid hookers and women of the night, if you will. Okay, and he doesn't want to get a real job. He self-sabotages himself and all that. I was going to dive into a deeper rabbit hole. Anyway, though, apparently, there's been some developments. He started a LolCal podcast where he, I guess, dives into all the drama on that one podcast. I have not seen it because it's part of Keemstar, and I don't talk about Keemstar, let's put it that way. And B, apparently, he has started to do this whole series and stuff where he doesn't dive into controversies or drama on his main channel anymore, and doesn't start the disrespecting himself and all that and whatever drama related crap on his personal channel anymore. And instead, he started doing more gaming stuff, which is something he said in the past. It's something he said he would do in the past, but eventually it will crumble and fall, and lies and all that stuff. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, apparently he's doing that. I don't know if it's gonna last. He's doing the Power of the Internet now, which I don't even know what that show's about. I think it's some kind of gaming. I hope it's some kind of gaming related thing. I hope it's not just a shorter version of the LolCal podcast. But anyway, though, I'm going to put him on Get Off the Platform because he is not the Mr. Rogers of the internet anymore. He is terrible, misogynist. He's thinks way too highly of himself, and I don't like those types of people. And I haven't seen a video from him after 10 years ago because, yeah, I don't like how Boogie fell. That's all. Anyway, though, Scott the Woz, this man gave me a scare because there was a point where I thought he wasn't posting anything. And again, but yeah, he's posting again. Thank God. Anyway, he posts less than any of the other people who haven't posted anything combined, probably. He's trying to keep it monthly, but I think he does it more bi-monthly or something. But that being said, okay, if you put all of the great skits that Drew Gooden makes and boil them down into like 3 seconds for each joke, for each skit, that would be Scott the Woz. It's that good. Okay, come on now. His videos are hilarious. His videos are absolutely spectacular. I can't even get enough of that. Granted, they take a long time to make, but still, you know, I mean, with quality like that, I mean, I would expect it to be a lot of work, especially when it's done by one person, which I think is done by one person, Scott, and his crew and all that, you know. Maybe not necessarily one person, but like his crew and all that. He's just his bros, you know, the bros that come on most of his vids and all that, you know. But anyway, I love his vids. Technically, he should be hasn't posted in a while because he doesn't post a whole lot. But if you go on to Scott's segments, he's posting a lot there. So, I mean, he's not dead. Let's put it that way. So, because of the quality of his vids, S tier. But just barely. Just barely. If he posted more, he would definitely be an S tier. But because of the quality of his vids, I'm putting him in superior. If he made a little bit less vids, I would put him in haven't posted in a while. But still, fabulous. Fabulous work from Scott the Woz. I highly recommend going onto his channel and watching his vids and all that. All right, we are getting pretty close to the end. Thank God. I know a lot of YouTubers. I know I'm criminally online. I'm sorry. Anyway, Film Joy. This is a very interesting, very good take on a review channel and all that, where this guy dives into a lot of film and filmmaking, but also some random stuff. Like, for instance, he did one video on BattleBots that I thought was really well done as well. There's jokes that he makes that's kind of off the cuff, or not off the cuff. That's more Scott the Woz. That's more entwined with the script and all that. Like, very, very, like, these jokes would be made if it wouldn't be made if it wasn't for a script. It's like editing stuff and all that, editing jokes, all that type of thing, which I gotta say, I'm down for, you know, all that type of thing. His videos are very well edited. The only thing, and it's not necessarily his fault because he's got some issues. I forget what issue he's got. He's got some medical issues and all that. He had some home issues as well. For instance, I think he had his home flooded or something, and he had to move to a hotel to get it, fixed and all that type of thing. Which, yeah, obviously you wouldn't post a whole lot if your home went underwater and all that, and you're strapped for cash, but still, But yeah, I would probably put him in haven't posted in a while. Although, his content is very well done. I gotta say, check out his vids, check out his channel. Great channel overall. But yeah, thumbs up for me. I know I'm not doing a whole lot here, but still. Anyway, though, Just Stop. Now, okay, another controversy surrounding him with Daft Pina. He's another cartoon YouTuber that reviews animation and all that. He used to be a commentator, but he stopped that because he didn't like the drama, rightfully so, and he instead went into more animated cartoon reviews and all that. Now, his vids are very well edited. They're very well put together. In fact, I dare say, I think one of his magnum opus videos is the one with Agrizuko. I think that's the name of it. I know I'm mispronouncing it, but it's the anime with the red panda dealing with the overworkedness that's on Netflix and all that. That's a fabulous show, and the reason why I watched that show is because of his vid, the vid that he made on Agresuko. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I can't even remember. Anyway, but yeah, I think that vid was fabulous. However, the one thing that I really, really want to point out here is the wishy-washiness that's been on his channel. Like, for instance, a lot of his posts on the community tab have just been like, hey, what kind of video would you guys like to see? Oh, hey, what kind of thumbnail would you guys like to see? Oh, I haven't been posting in a while, I'm sorry. That type of thing. And I'm like, okay, can you just stop, please? It's just clogging up the community feed with just your posts apologizing and trying to figure out what your audience wants. Which, if you know your audience and if you're confident in yourself, then you don't have to ask your audience, what you want from your audience. Stuff like that. It's just cringe to me. Again, cringe. But yeah, his vids are still pretty well put together when, he releases them, because sometimes he doesn't release vids. But then again, I don't know his, personal life or whatever, but I might as well, because he's terminally online. But anyway, yeah. All in all, I personally enjoy Just Stop. I would put him on the recommended tab, of course, but don't subscribe to his community tab or if you can, because you will get bombarded. But yeah, I'm gonna put him in the I think I was half and half right here. Just up in the good territory, because his vids, when he posts, fabulous. I just wish he didn't comment, put a lot of posts in the community tab just saying, hey, what kind of video would you guys like? Oh, hey, what kind of thumbnail would you guys like? Just stick to it, okay? Just stick to it. You can ask about the thumbnail, fine, but just stop bombarding with what video you guys want. Just updates on the video and all that type of stuff. I'm kind of sick of it. Just please stop. Anyway, speaking of the controversy, Daft Pina, apparently, yeah, he was a commentator too on the animation front, and then he stopped because of all the controversy with Just Stop. So, for all those who don't know, real short, Just Stop and Daft Pina kind of confronted Ellis Mark on his wife and how his wife was kind of mean to people, and I'll keep it like that. And one of her friends is also extremely mean to people, and it seems like he's endorsing that type of stuff online, and they want to make sure that he was okay. And there's a whole bunch of personal stuff that maybe don't do that, and apparently, according to Just Stop, it was all Daft Pina's fault, and according to Daft Pina, it was mostly about Just Stop or whatever, and you could have said no or whatever. I don't know. It's all up in the air. Keemstar even popped in with a tweet just saying, Ellis Mark, what did you do? And all that. So it got to that point. So let's put it that way. Gosh. But anyway, Daft Pina, he was actually pretty funny when he was doing his commentary stuff. But now since he's doing his animation stuff, it's a little less funny. And it's more boring. I'm sorry. But he seems like he's in a better spot these days because he's not, terminally online, which I gotta say, good for him. But it's just more boring. It's not really that funny anymore. And still fabulously edited. He's got his own podcast called Bad Take Deletes and all that, which I gotta say is pretty decent as well. But still, I would put him, if there was an S to F tier, I'd probably put him in C tier. So I'll put him in good. I just like his you know what, because they hate each other, I'll put them together. Why not? I'm sorry, but it's gotta be this way. But yeah, no disrespect to any of these people and all that. I would love to meet them and all that, but still, that was controversy that didn't necessarily need to be blown up in the slightest. Oh man. Anyway, we're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost there. Anyway, Offbeat Kiki. I met her at MomoCon as well. And I actually followed her after I followed Toonerific Tariq because she was on his channel a lot too. Or they were on his channel too. So they've got a channel that is really, really well put together. This is probably, other than Hats Off, the best edited out of all the videos of the animation industry, probably. Just neck and neck with Toonerific Tariq, in my opinion. But yeah, it is. But yeah, her vids are just well put together and all that. Spectacular. And I believe, don't quote me on this, I know she does music. I believe she also puts her original music in her videos, which I gotta say, okay, chef's kiss to that. Okay, come on now. Okay, if I had any music bone in my body where I could play music, I would definitely put it in these videos that's not this Chicago thing that I found on YouTube that you're listening to right now. But anyway, yeah, fabulous videos, just great overall, content and all that. The one thing is that I had a brain fart there. I am so sorry. But yeah, no complaints here. I apologize. They are a fabulous YouTube channel. I would personally like her to post a little bit more because let me just double check here. I haven't seen a vid from her in a while. I think it might be last film she did was Scoobtober probably, or something like that. Oh, 1 month ago. Okay, so it's not that far away. But yeah, there was a But yeah, there was a few vids that were kind of like just, I guess, streaming and all that type of thing, and now she's getting back to her content and all that. That's pretty decent. When she actually, isn't gaming or whatever, the vids that she makes, really, really well done, really clean, really just thumbs up editing right there. And I like how she talks about, or I like how they talk about the whole, like, what they talk about and all that, like their takes on the animation and all that, and especially Velma. And I think she has one of the best Velma, or I wholeheartedly apologize. I keep on mislabeling. I apologize. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm tired. I apologize. Anyway, I think that their Velma video was one of the best Velma videos I have seen on the internet. It's that good. So I think that they deserve to be in S tier. Yep, right over there. Just very clean editing. I'm talking a lot about the editing, but it's just that good. I love the aesthetic. It's just really, 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 really well done. Elliot Roberts, not the other one. Don't. Okay, don't. Elliot Roberts. This guy is a fanatic for biopics and the Beatles. In fact, a lot of his vids are about the Beatles and biopics. And that's basically it. Now, I really like and I really enjoy his takes on biopics. He's actually gotten me into 70s and 60s and 70s music, which I didn't think I would ever listen to, but he actually got me into listening to Beatles and the Beach Boys, the good Beach Boys, and I was like, oh shoot, okay, this is actually pretty decent music. This is actually really good. That type of stuff. And I gotta say, rock on, my dude. Rock on. Anyway, though, I would put him higher on the list. And he hasn't been in any controversies, so there you go. But all that being said, I love his discography of each and every Beatle, except for Ringo, which apparently that's coming. But I love his deep dives into each and every discography of each and every Beatle, past Beatles. So there's that. I love those videos. The one thing is, his posting of vids is very sporadic. He doesn't post a whole lot. And a lot of it now is kind of stuff that I don't necessarily want to watch. Like there was one about the Beatles Red and Blue albums and all that, which I was like, okay, there's that, I guess. But there's that. I'm not really into that. But then there's other videos that he does for like the rise of company biopics or something, which I'm like, okay, I'm into this. But then he posts another one that's just off the cuff and all that. I'm like, okay, I do off the cuff on this channel all the time, but he normally doesn't, and I'd rather him not. But anyway, with that being said, he hasn't posted in a while, so I'll put him in not posted in a while, but still a recommendation in my book, to say the least. Captain Midnight. Gotta do that. You gotta do that. So, this is a very interesting channel. I wouldn't put it in a I wouldn't necessarily put it in the movie review type of channel that is like a Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns, which I don't think I even have Jeremy Johns on this list. Shocking. S tier for Jeremy Johns. Anyway, I wouldn't necessarily put him in there. He does like mini. It's kind of weird. He does his editing is fabulous. Okay, he mixes up like old radio drama stuff and old commercials and all that, and mixes it in with his own take on, you know, media these days and all that. I mean, he can do everything from a movie review to the current state of Will Smith's career, which I actually watched, and he's posting like every week. Okay, he's posting at least one vid a week, at least in my eyes, to my knowledge. Yeah, he's posting a lot, and I'm all for that. His vids are fantastic. I wouldn't necessarily put him in there, but again, his videos are kind of bordering the line there, because a lot of his vids tend to be just a review on something, but it's not necessarily a review on TV or movies. It's a review on maybe someone's career, you know, or Max or A24 or something, right? It's short enough to be a review, but it's also, you know, well put together enough to probably be like a video documentary kind of, but like an opinion section. It's very, very bizarre type of thing to kind of decipher and dissect, but in all the best ways, ladies and gentlemen, in all of the best ways. So without further ado, another S tier. Get that man on that superior list. Fabulous work. Ellis Mark. As previously mentioned, he was in some drama, and we're not talking about that anymore. Anyway, though, his vids, when he posts, are really well done and well put together. Very well edited. He's got kind of an Irish accent, which, you know, adds some diversity and all that. Pretty decent. Meeting Halfway podcast. oh boy. Not only do they not post a whole lot anymore, really. I mean, they posted one in like 2 to 3 months, I think. I don't even know. It's like the Saw thing, which is kind of interesting. But he's done it with his wife. His wife, when he's behind the camera with his wife, it's kind of mean-spirited and kind of not what I would watch necessarily. It's kind of boring, and they're bickering back and forth and all that, and I don't really find that entertaining. But then again, that might be their whole shtick. You know, that might be their thing. I just don't find that funny or endearing, honestly. But maybe some people do. I don't know. Sue me. Anyway, but yeah, his vids are pretty well done. I personally enjoy the every episode watch and ranking. You know, he's done many of those vids, like every Simpsons episode, every Family Guy episode, every SpongeBob episode, every South Park episode, every Saw film, which might as well be a show. You know, it's just, it's very well done. Let's put it that way. It's very well done. And his other vids are pretty well done as well. They're just a little bit more random and sporadic these days. They're not really have a main focus as much as he did in the older days, back when, you know, he did the every Simpsons episode review and all that. But all in all, still a pretty decent fellow, and someone I would really enjoy to meet and all that. However, because of the Meeting Halfway podcast, I'm putting him in good tier because it's just that it's not my forte. Let's put it that way. But still, his vids are still really good. Splash Dash, his Sonic specific channel, is pretty good as well. But still, it's just it's fine. Anyway, Super Carlin Brothers. This is a channel that I found like a couple years ago because they're all about, fandoms and all that. Specifically Avengers, specifically Harry Potter. Basically everything Disney gobbled up besides Harry Potter, which is kind of hilarious to say the least. But anyway, they also started doing Avatar. They also started doing more Harry Potter stuff, more Disney animated stuff. They don't really do newer Disney animation that much anymore, which is kind of shocking to say the least. But yeah, I still say they have quality content and all that. I'm all for it. They got this new podcast called Through the Gryffindor, I think, where they read and comment on every chapter of Harry Potter, which I gotta say, if you're gonna do that, they've done it well. Let's put it that way. And they also got this Popcorn Planet where they basically talk about every random thing they could possibly think of, which I am down for. Okay, come on now. They seem like pretty wholesome people, really nice, down-to-earth people. They're kind of like my brother and me, those types of podcasters and all that. I forget their names. Mick Elroy, there we go. The Mick Elroy family. They seem pretty down-to-earth. So, they seem pretty wholesome in nature and all that. So, yeah, However, I haven't watched... They haven't put out a video that I've necessarily, jumped up at the chance to watch recently. So I'm going to put them in A tier. Or awesome tier. Simply because they're just that great. But if they put out... I don't know. I don't even know what they would do. Something to kind of gravitate more toward the channel, I guess. I don't even know. But yeah, still... fabulous channel nonetheless. Maybe I'm just growing out of it. I don't even know. Anyway, Quentin Reviews. Oh boy. So, there was a lot of controversy with Quentin and all that because he was kind of cringe and he was a commentator, but then he went more toward the BreadTube, and when he was trying to stalk, I guess, BreadTubers, he got called out, I guess, indirectly, and kind of started hiding or whatever. And now he promised that if he got to a certain amount of subscribers or a certain amount of Patreon people, that he would create this mini series about the entire Fred, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, Sam and Cat universe. And he's done that. And it's been like 3 years. Oh my gosh. Now, here's the thing. When he actually talks about the video, when he actually talks about the episodes, I think he's actually done a pretty decent job. I think he does a pretty decent job with the quality of the reviews and all that type of thing. But these videos that he does are incredibly long. Okay, they are considerably, enormously long. They're like 8 hours long each, kind of. Each, it's like 70% of his video is just him babbling about random garbage and like toys and all that. And I'm just like, okay, you can cut this out. You can cut that out. You can cut out all these breaks and all that. Granted, okay? Which, by the way, first of all, let me just say, I've got a lot of breaks in my videos, granted. But I'm still learning. I'm still trying to make good vids while also trying to juggle a job and all that type of stuff, you know? But Quentin's whole career is YouTube. He is close to 1 million subscribers. He's got editors. You would think that he would put more emphasis on the editing and cutting out all the dead air and all the cringe, you know? So, yeah. That being said, he could rise again. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to put him in not good because I don't like the longer vids and I wish he would make shorter vids. But then again, that's what the algorithm loves, apparently. Quentin said he loves, like, he's trying to do the what the algorithm entails, tells him to do and all that. He's got a second channel that's probably the most fun he's had in a very long time. So there's that too. So, you know, whatever. Mr. Beast, he's a really good fellow. He just goes out and, you know, helps out as many people as possible and all that. I would say he's probably the best YouTuber on the platform in comparison to that, because he's just going out, helping people and all that. His vids haven't been up to par from his previous work, but still, they're still amazing. The fact that he does all this amazing stuff is just wonderful. And all the people that are trying to tear him down, get a life. That's all I gotta say. If you're gonna just crucify him for helping out people in Africa with, you know, digging wells in Africa, get a life. That's all I have to say on that. Anyway, S tier every day. And I'm not a Mr. Beast stan. There's some vids that I'm like, okay, you can not necessarily scream all the time. You don't really need to have AI thumbnails and all that, but the stuff he does is actually good, and he's trying to help the planet. So I gotta say, you know, that's quality. It's quality stuff. Mark Rober, also a fabulous guy. He makes science fun. He dives into different crazy cuckoo shenanigans with engineering and all that. He's got Crunch Labs that helps out kids with, you know, science experiments and all that type of thing. He does the squirrel obstacle course thing. He gets back at the porch pirates with stealing, you know, packages and all that, and he gives them basically like gigantic glitter explosions and all that. There you go. He's basically a fun guy, and on top of that, he's worked at NASA. So there you go. He's a great guy. I love his vids. So yeah, he's going up there too, along with Mr. Beast. S tier or superior. He's the superior one. There you go. Anyway, in Deep Geek, this is a guy who makes a lot of fabulous vids on Lord of the Rings, The Witcher. He did a lot of videos on The Witcher. Not a lot anymore because the show's not really all that great anymore. Doing a lot of videos on Game of Thrones, a lot of type of stuff. And now he's kind of branching out. He's kind of branching out these days, talking about Doctor Who, talking about the Wheel of Time, all that type of stuff. And I gotta say, I'm all for that. If he's gonna talk about Wheel of Time, I'm all for that. He's gonna talk about Doctor Who, I'm all for that, you know? He's got a very soothing voice. I actually listen to him sometimes while going to sleep. Very well done, I would say. And also his vids are very well done, edited as well. But yeah, I would just say that his introduction stuff, I would put that maybe a little bit more of a priority and a little bit less Game of Thrones, because most of the stuff's been Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, very heavy Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. I would personally enjoy more than just that, like the Johnny Two Cellos shenanigans all over again. So because of that, putting him in awesome tier. Again, he's going the right direction, but if he were to, say, talk about Doctor Who more, talk about all the other stuff more, I'd be all for that, but he's not, so there's that. Anyway, all right, ladies and gents, we're back. I had to take a voice break because my voice was very, very dry. I also added a couple more that I knew off the top of my head. So there's that, and we're going to get back to it. So Billiam. Billiam is actually one that I found fairly recently, actually. Quentin Reviews actually recommended him. And I was like, okay, how good can this guy be? Well, he does give off a certain energy, I guess, that's similar to Quentin Reviews, but he does it a lot better. I mean, all the problems I had with Quentin Reviews, Billiam kind of works with and does and is the best, honestly. Yeah, dare I say it? He's better than Quentin Reviews. He's like the Quentin Reviews I wanted all along. But anyway, yeah, I love his Scooby-Doo vids. They're a lot of fun. I watched them on my way back from Thanksgiving and all that. It's actually they're actually pretty interesting. He also does a lot of Quentin Reviews type of thing where he reviews just random stuff, like the most random stuff, like most unique McDonald's. He's got a video on that. And I really enjoy that type of stuff. So yeah, there you go. And he actually visited a lot of the weird McDonald's in Florida. So there's that too. But anyway, all that being said and done, Billiam, I need to binge more of his channel in order to actually make him superior, but he's getting up there. By next year, he'll probably be in superior, but for right now, I'm going to put him in awesome, just because I haven't seen every single thing he's done. But I've seen his Scooby-Doo stuff, I've seen his McDonald's stuff, I've seen a couple more of his vids, but yeah, he's a fabulous YouTuber as of now. Jeremy Jahns. Now, this is the, I guess, anti-Chris Stuckman, I suppose. I mean, they're both pretty decent friends. I guess they're acquaintances or something. They don't really know each other, I guess, in real life or whatever. But Skits, the Wild Hendry himself, he loves Jeremy Jahns. He's the only movie reviewer that he would probably watch consistently because he's got a very ADHD type of style to him. And I gotta say, I really do like him as well. I think he has more subs than Chris. I mean, at least he did before when I first subscribed to Chris and Jeremy Jahns and all that, but it shows why. He does do a lot of interesting things. Like, for instance, now he's doing... He, I guess, started and then stopped doing some, like, vlogs type of deal. He also did his thoughts, like my thoughts on, different trailers and all that, and different movie media, news and all that type of stuff. Actually pretty interesting to say the least. He's branching out a little bit. But yeah, he's mostly still does his reviews and all that type of thing, and honestly, I really do enjoy his vids. He grows out his hair and beard a lot of the times and all that. But yeah, no disrespect to him whatsoever. But yeah, as of now, I don't think he's been in any controversy or anything like that. So yeah, Jeremy, you're getting an S tier. That's right, you're going in superior. He is, yeah, I believe he is superior. Sue me, I don't know. Anyway, Mr. Beat. Now here's, okay, here's the deal with Mr. Beat. I really enjoy his vids. Are they for everybody? Absolutely not. I will detest that it is not for everybody. Okay, he does a lot of dad jokes. He does a lot of it is just information dumps and straight into the point. The editing is very, very minimal. I mean, of course, my editing is very minimal too, but he's getting close to like 1 million subscribers. He's like I think he's over 500,000 subscribers up to this point. So yeah, does very minimal editing and all that. However, I think what makes him different and why I like him more than someone who doesn't put in a whole lot of editing and who does like extreme levels of dad jokes and to the point where it's so unoffensive that schools can watch him is just that schools can watch him. And, you know, a lot of it could entertain and educate kids in public school systems and all that. And on top of that, he is a teacher as well. So there's that as well. He's a very, very well-pronounced history teacher and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I like a lot of his vids. He also has The Beat Goes On. I guess he's into music as well, where he dives into, you know, music. He did some things with film, but I don't think they really popped off compared to the music. So he does a lot of music stuff on The Beat Goes On. But yeah, I actually really do enjoy his vids. Granted, they're not for everybody. If you are not a history lover like I am, or you don't want to know anything, or you want to be taught anything, I wouldn't recommend him because it's not really your style. But if you are a history fan, by all means sub to him, because he is a just well down-to-earth fellow and all that. So with that being said, I would put him in awesome. Oh, the awesome's getting pretty full here. The only reason why he's in awesome is because I know he's not for everybody. But if he was for everybody, I would put him in superior all day. But yeah, there's that at least. So, okay, Star Wars theory. Okay. So here's my take on the Star Wars fandom these days, and we're gonna try not to get into a huge rabbit hole, but here we go. So, Star Wars theory, I believe, although he says different, I don't think so. I've seen many of his vids, and I actually got onto his channel because he did the Vader series, Vader Episode 1, which is, you know, he did that from scratch, and I thought that was really good and all that. However, he is just one of those Star Wars people that's just bowing at the altar of George Lucas and saying that George Lucas is the greatest man to ever live or something. He did the amazing thing with Star Wars. The prequels are the best thing in the entire history of mankind, when they are absolutely not. Disney Star Wars ruined everything, and yeah, the sequels, there's not even an ounce of good in the sequels. He's making a huge war over something so minimal. And he's basically fighting a one-man war against Disney Star Wars, and yeah. He doesn't even acknowledge the fact that without Disney, we wouldn't get the best part of Star Wars that have come out so far, like Andor or Obi-Wan Kenobi, in my opinion, Ahsoka, in my opinion, Rebels, all these great TV shows, and some films as well, like Rogue One and The Force Awakens. I actually do enjoy those films. But yeah, he's not. Everything Disney Star Wars touched is absolutely terrible. Just get off of Disney Star Wars. Disney needs to sell back to George. George needs to get Lucasfilm back. No, stop. That's never gonna happen. It'll be a cold day in hell if that happens. I will be shocked if that happens. And I have very little knowledge of the entertainment industry, but even I know that will never happen in a cold day, and it'll be a cold day in hell if that happens. He's just toxic. He's very, very toxic. And I don't think he's handling his fandom correctly, in my opinion. Other than his Vader thing, yeah, his vids, his content is just terrible. So get off the platform, Star Wars Theory. I'm sorry. No hard feelings, but I mean, you gotta stop with the whole one-man crusade on that. Come on now. Anyway, Watch Mojo. This is a content farm, honestly. I'm just dishing it out right now. I'm just dishing out the worst of the worst right here and now. But anyway, yeah, Watch Mojo. This is just no personality. They post like 4 videos a day of top 10s. They recently stopped doing top 10s, and they're doing the reasons why this is happening or something like that. And I'm like, okay, this is just a top 10, but disguised as something else, because they can't do anything else. They tried doing like giving their voice team and all that like some more things to say, like off the cuff, but even they don't have like real personalities, because I don't know, I don't feel like they have any personalities coming through the vids and all that. So yeah, this is a content farm. This is AI written before AI even existed. So because of that, get off the platform. I do not like them, but I don't like talking a whole lot about the worst parts of YouTube. So let's dive into some good. Let's start with, we're gonna skip Temple Institute for now, but kind of do like a full 180 here. What Culture? This is a British Watch Mojo, basically, but done a lot better, in my opinion. I mean, especially in the early days. I used to watch them a couple years ago, and they were a lot better. So what they do is that they have their, the basic What Culture channel, but then they have these other channels like Watch Mojo, but instead of just being the same old, just with a different audience or whatever, instead they have their voice talents kind of tell their own opinions and all that. And it seems like the people they've got actually are fans of this particular niche that they've carved out, like Who Culture. These people are really big fans of Doctor Who. Trek Culture. I know there's one guy, I forget his name, but there's one guy that is just obsessed with Trek Culture, to the point with Star Trek, to the point where he pauses a lot, and it's not a lot of good editing, but they've recently reined him in and did him a lot better. He stopped pausing a whole lot, which I really do enjoy. I think it's all for the best. Granted, I pause too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna be a narcissist or whatever, I mean that thing. But yeah, if he's working for like a huge company like that, I would assume that they would cut out a lot of his pauses, because I'm just a one-man band kind of folks. Anyway, but yeah, they fixed that a lot. a lot of the people tend to be, fans of what they're talking about, and they actually feel like they are, having the information actually come from them and not necessarily doing a bunch of research. I know there's a bunch of research behind the scenes, but yeah, it seems like these people actually like what they're talking about instead of just, voice people regurgitating what's being said on a script. So, because of that, the complete opposite of Watch Mojo, I'm putting them in S tier. And I think they take even better cultivation of their vids as well, because I don't remember seeing more than one vid being produced per day, which I gotta say, I mean, if you're gonna do something from the heart, I mean, you gotta do at least a vid a day. Not more than 4, okay? More than 2 vids a day, two or more vids is just way too much. Watch Mojo, come on now. Anyway, Templin Institute, I actually met them, and this is a very weird story, so get ready for this. So I had one of my friends actually introduced me to them at Dragon Con while they were there, and actually got me into Templin Institute from their YouTube channel through Dragon Con. I was like, oh, okay, well, what's Templin Institute? So I subscribed to them, and I never looked back. So what they do is they basically give an overall analysis and information dump, very well edited, I might add, to like all these random fantasy, sci-fi-esque worlds and all that type of thing. Like, for instance, they talk about Vulcan, they talk about the Death Star and all that type of thing. They also talk about places. Like, for instance, I think they did some things for the Lord of the Rings. They did a lot for Warhammer. Warhammer had a huge dump as of late. And they also started to evolve and kind of dive into their own world that they kind of made up themselves. And they also started to kind of give their own opinions on certain factors as well, like Star Wars, the current state of Star Wars, which of course everyone does, but it's not their only content. Okay, so there's that. They do acknowledge that there's some good in Disney Star Wars, so okay. Anyway, though, they also talk about peoples now and all that type of stuff, like the Borg. A lot of recent vids are about Borg and about the Borg and about Vulcans and about some random species in Star Wars and all that, which I gotta say, yeah, okay. I like these vids. They don't go over 20 minutes. In fact, I think their longest video to date is probably maybe 21 minutes, but that's their opinion section. If you just want strictly like overall views, like info dumps on just people and places and fantasy and sci-fi and all that, then I think their longest video is probably like 10 minutes maybe. Very easily digestible and all that. And I don't have a problem with them, honestly. They haven't done anything to really make me angry. So for that reason, I'm putting them in superior. Just, it's kind of up to you if you want to listen to their opinions and all that. If you just want to strictly go toward their, analysis on places and peoples, it's up to you. But yeah, anyway. Curtis Connor. I actually found him when I went into that commentary dump with Scott Kramer and Drew Gooden and all that. And I'm slowly but surely binging his content as well. And by the way, he is he's kind of like the rated R version of Drew Gooden. I mean, at least Drew kind of censors a lot of his cuss words and swear words and all that, but Curtis is just balls to the wall right there. He just cusses up a storm, and it's hilarious. And I find him to be absolutely hilarious as well. And I find him hilarious because he's, I don't know, he dresses himself up like a Weird Al in the 80s for some reason. I don't even know why, but it's a great style, and it looks good on you, Curtis. Love to collab with you. But anyway, yeah. He's Canadian. He's a great guy. I haven't binged a whole lot of his vids, but so far they're absolutely hilarious. They're sharp-witted. They're straight and to the point. And yeah, I gotta, because I haven't binged all of his content yet, but I plan on doing that. But because I haven't binged all of his content, I'm putting him in awesome tier. But so far, he's done pretty well, in my opinion. And he just might be like Billy. I'm going to Superior by the year's end after I binged all of his content. So, yeah. It's gotta be fair. I gotta be fair. Okay, there we go. Anyway. Star Wars Explained. This one is the best one. This one's the complete opposite of Star Wars Theory, where, you know, these guys, this couple here, he basically made his YouTube channel just so he can, you know, research and learn more about Star Wars so that he can win this Star Wars test at Dragon Con, because they have a Star Wars test every year. Like, how many people do you know in Star Wars? Just the most intricate thing about Star Wars, and it's just very, very hilarious. And I actually took the test with them. I met them a couple times and took some pictures with them. They're a really nice couple and all that. And they do some live streams, which I'm not really all that into, like Penguin Zero and, you know, the other people who do live streams and all that I'm not really into, but their vids, they do it very, very well. They're not just, you know, saying, oh, Disney Star Wars sucks. They acknowledge that there's some good in Disney Star Wars. There may be some bad too, but I mean, it's more consistent than, you know, and all that. And they give their actual real opinion, and they don't seem like they're trying to appease Disney and all that. So, yeah, that's decent. It's very decent of them. And I like how they're edited. I like how their videos are edited and all that. I mean, it's a lot of the times their vids are basically like maybe 3 minute lore dump on a specific thing in Star Wars. So there's that. They also come out every year with a huge canon timeline and all that, and I gotta say, I'm all for it. I watch it every year, and I love seeing it in its entirety. And it gets bigger and it gets longer every single year, and I love that. So, because of that, and because of all that, I'm going to put them again in the awesome territory right here. The only reason's because of their live streams. I got to put it with Penguin Zero and all that, because, hey, if I like their live streams, if I like live stream in general, I'd probably put them in Superior. So I gotta be consistent here, guys. I'm sorry. Anyway, Smosh. In case you guys don't know, Smosh is back, baby. Yeah. After a lot of selling off their thing and all that, and Anthony Padilla leaving, Anthony's back. They bought Smosh back from Good Mythical Morning, and they've got it back. They got their own, they're making vids again. They're making their own little sketches again. And they got Anthony doing his thing on the vids and all that, and they don't seem like just some kind of random escapades of random people like it did in the past, and I didn't really like. that's why I didn't really get into them. But yeah, Smosh is back, baby. They got their 7-minute sketches and all that, which I actually started to watch, and I really do enjoy. Now, that being said, they still do the longer forms of vids, and not really into those. I'm more into the sketches. But, you know, they're fine. They're not the best, but they're still not the worst. That guy from the Goldbergs, who I guess was a character in the Goldbergs somehow. I mean, he's fine, I suppose, but everyone else is just kind of, you know, whatever, I guess. No offense to them. No offense to them by any means. I'm sure they're great people in real life, but still, I'm not here for them. I'm here for Anthony and the other guy. I forget his name for some reason. I don't. Give me a second, kind folks. I apologize. It's been a long day already. All right. Let's see who is also there. Ian Hecox. Okay, so Anthony and Ian. Why did I forget Ian's name? I don't know. Anyway, I'm more for Anthony and Ian. I'm not necessarily in it for anyone else necessarily. So I just put them in the good aspect of it. Again, great vids, and they make me laugh all the time, but still, you know, it's just kind of you know, for their other vids and all that type of thing. I don't know. Anyway, Good Mythical Morning, the most wholesome YouTube channel on the platform right now, other than MatPat, who's basically the Mr. Rogers. These guys are also very wholesome as well. They do VidCon. They do the VidCon out of the kindness of their hearts and all that. My gosh, guys, come on now. Now, they got famous by eating just the most random things, like will it taco, will it sandwich, all that type of stuff. And I actually got into them by watching those vids as well. They're the most consistent out of everybody. They even showed themselves getting a vasectomy, which is just most hilarious thing ever. And on top of all that, they were in this cartoon show, or this puppet show that I remember from way back in the day, What's in the Bible. They were like a sing-along type of thing here. They were doing some songs, which I gotta say, I completely forgot. I didn't even know that they were there, but yeah, they were there. They were just kind of out of nowhere in that show. They just came out of nowhere with their weird hair. But yeah, you know, they got their awesome hairdos as well, you know, all that type of thing. But anyway, overall, I love Good Mythical Morning. They also got their own other channels, Good Mythical More and Mythical Kitchen, which I gotta say, they're also very well done as well. Very wholesome content, all in all. So for that, S tier all day for them. Anthony Padilla. Now, his channel kind of popped off after he left Smosh, and I kind of got into him before I got into Smosh, actually, because he just started interviewing a bunch of famous YouTubers and famous people, like famous streamers and all that. And he also interviewed a lot of people that to gain more information on certain issues. Like he interviewed trans people. He interviewed the LGBTQ community. He interviewed fire survivors or something like that. You just interviewed just a whole bunch of people to gain different, you know, aspects into different people's lives, and I really did enjoy how he did that. And it's just very down to earth, and there were some jokes, but you know, very sensitive jokes. You know, not bashing people or whatever, but you know, just very wholesome jokes. And you know what? Hey, I'm all for that. Okay, his channel, I binge his channel all the time, and I love to see different aspects and understand different, you know, understand different personalities and understand different, people and all that type of stuff. He even interviewed the weird baby fetish community, which I'm not necessarily, into, but I like the aspect that he came in from a very neutral zone. Like, he always comes in from a very neutral zone. He's not bashing them or anything, but he wants to know more about, all that type of stuff, which I gotta say, I really do like. I like most, if not all, of his vids. Now, he has done this new thing on his channel, which I haven't really gotten into, mainly because I guess he's not really in there. He's just like this round table now. I guess because with Smosh, he's kind of has to, because he's a one-man band with his channel. He's got to do something else. He can't be, doing interviews all the time, that type of thing. But he does like a round table of like, one round table was like LGBTQ pastors or something like that. And they're fine. They're just missing Anthony, they're just missing that Anthony charm and goodwill that I've come to know the channel to know and love from Anthony and all that. I just wish that he would not really be absent from these, but I get it. He's got to do his stuff with Smosh. I get it, but yeah, it's just missing some Anthony there, honestly. So, but yeah, I'd probably put him in the some vids I didn't necessarily like, especially in the early days. He went a little bit too jokey, in my opinion. So I'm going to put him in awesome. Still a great channel. Highly recommend him. But yeah, anyway, The Unlucky Tug. I don't know if you knew this about me, but I'm a huge Thomas the Tank Engine fan. And I found this guy from just seeing a lot of Thomas memes. And then I saw this channel just popping off and just giving a whole lot of Thomas analysis and all that, which I found to be really entertaining and very pleasing to the eye, honestly. I think he gives a lot of great insight into the Thomas behind the scenes and all that, and especially in the early age and the golden age of Thomas and all that. The model era, But yeah, he does season recaps and reviews and all that type of thing, and analysis and all that. He also makes his own Thomas, trains, I guess, which I find to be very heartwarming as well. I wouldn't personally make Thomas tank engines that full-heartedly, but apparently he got engaged. So yeah, anyone can get a womankind, folks. Anyone can get a woman. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sure he's a great guy in real life. No hard feelings, because he's a great guy. I would love to, interact with him and collab with him, of course. But yeah, so yeah, honestly, I would like to collab with any one of these YouTubers, as much as I bash them or whatever. I still love them, all except for Get Off the Platform. I would not want to collab with them, but everyone else, including John Campea, I would love to collab with them. And The Unlucky Tug. Now, he does do some, real life train stuff, like there was the most famous train ever. It was kind of lost in San Francisco for a while, and then was brought back to Great Britain. I forget what that name is, but he was in Thomas too, and I don't remember what that name of the train was. But yeah, he does some real life documentaries on trains and all that, and I'm like, okay, I'm digging this. I'm really digging this. Now, there is one aspect of his vids that I didn't necessarily like, and that is I try to watch as much vids as possible on YouTube, which, as you might be well aware by now, I watch a lot of YouTube. His stuff isn't really mentioned a whole lot, And yeah, I mean, sometimes he kind of goes under the rug sometimes. I don't really get, vids from him. And I get it. He's probably like the one and only Thomas person that I've, follow and subscribe to and all that. But I would like to see more of him, I like to see more of his vids and all that type of stuff. But yeah, other than those three main things, he doesn't really do a whole lot much else. Yeah, he kind of just doesn't do a whole lot else. He did do some stuff that's outside his platform as well, like The Incredibles, and he hates The Incredibles 2, which I do not agree with. I thought Incredibles 2 was a really great movie that didn't necessarily have to be all that great. Like, for instance, with Monsters University and all that not being that great. We're not gonna dive into all that stuff. He also did some Cars vids as well, which, yeah, his take on it was fine. He apparently enjoys Cars 2 more than anyone else on the internet. Although he agrees it's not necessarily the greatest film of all time either. So there's that too. I don't know, sometimes I kind of wish he would do more outside of Thomas, but I get it, he's a Thomas fanatic, but, I just wish he would do some more stuff. But granted, yes, Thomas first, everything else second, I get it. So for that reason, I'm going to put him in awesome. Because, yeah, I just like to see more from him and all that, No, not superior. He would be superior if it wasn't for the, I don't know, if he did a little bit more outside of Thomas, probably. But I like to see his opinion on Pixar stuff and all that. AVGN was not a huge controversy, but some controversy, where, I guess Screenwave or whoever the hell bought him, they did their podcast and Massacre podcast, and I was like, who the hell are these people? If you want to hear more about it, I would suggest Lady Emily's video. She goes way further into that whole shabacle or whatever. But anyway, AVGN is still a great person, to say the least. Again, a contestant for the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, because he's just that great. The one thing that kind of made me question AVGN, and honestly as well, if you want to hear my own thoughts of AVGN, we did a podcast entirely for the AVGN, so if you want to talk about it, you want to hear our thoughts on AVGN, go subscribe and watch that on D Podcast. Anyway, AVGN, the one thing that's kind of lacking from him this year is, or the one thing that was like, what the heck type of deal, was the censored version of the AVGN videos and all that, which I was like, why are you censoring the AVGN? Why are you doing that? He does these, complete season videos as well. Every time he finishes a season, every time he finishes a year or whatever of AVGN, he compiles them all into like one huge season and one huge video and all that. But recently he's been doing censored versions. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? Why are you trying to censor the AVGN? The whole reason we watch AVGN is for the crude and obscure humor and just the gross out humor and all that. Why are you censoring all that crap? No. I don't like that. Again, probably Screenwave's faults. I don't know. I'm not going to dive into that controversy again. But anyway, all in all, still a great guy, still pumping out vids. I wish he would pump out more, because as of this recording, he finally released one AVGN vid, but it's the Christmas time vid and all that. But last vid he did was in Halloween, and I was like, oh gosh, okay. I mean, I love to see more content out of him, but still, he's doing his own thing and all that. Okay, I understand, but yeah. I would still put him superior, but he is just the stuff that Screenwave's done to him he's just barely there, honestly. He would probably be put in awesome if on another day or something. Nostalgia Critic, oh gosh. So, if you want to know all my thoughts on the Nostalgia Critic, I made 2 videos from both iterations of D Podcast. You want to see my thoughts on him? Go look at those vids. But anyway, I will say this. He has gotten better. He has gotten a lot less cringe in his vids. He's gotten a lot more consistent with his vids and the way he talks and all that type of stuff. It's not weird. It's not giant epic musicals anymore, thank God, because he couldn't sing worth a damn. But yeah, it's gotten more consistent. He's done more good movies this time, like better videos, like better movies, like Edward Scissorhands. He did Home Alone. The Nostalgia Critic is actually becoming Doug Walker, honestly. He's less crazy, more laid back and chilled out, which I gotta say is probably for the best, honestly. But yeah, other than that, he still doesn't come out and said anything about change the channel. So there's that. Even in his interviews that he did, he hasn't said anything about change the channel, which is very disappointing to say the least. So believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, because he's gotten more consistent, and even though I still downvote his videos unapologetically, I put him borderline good. I wouldn't tell him to get off the platform. I probably, he's just barely there. I probably put him in not good sometimes because some of his videos are just, in opinions, are just regurgitating everyone else. And I've heard his opinions done better on other platforms, but he's getting better. Let's hope that he continues this upward trend. He may or may not, I don't know, but yeah, there's that. Anyway, Mr. Nostalgic. Now this guy, either 2 years ago or a year ago or something, he came back to the internet after leaving to help out his mother and stuff like that, which I gotta say, okay, if you have to help your mother, by all means do that, life priorities and all that. No disrespect, no harshness toward that by any means. But anyway, his vids are actually a lot better and more clean than they've ever been. There was the longest time where he was just using a text-to-speech program. So I guess he didn't own a microphone. Which, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, but still, it's kinda, yeah. But now he has a microphone and he uses it, so I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's good. He does a lot of more obscure and I guess more nostalgic DComs, NComs, Disney original movies, Nickelodeon original movies, all that type of stuff. And I gotta say, I'm all for it. I'm all for his vids. And yeah, I think he's criminally underrated. He should have more subs. So yeah, I would put him in superior. Yep, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Another superior. This thing is filling up. let's get some in maybe not good or good or something. Oh, hey, here's YMS. Here we go. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so I actually got a funny story about YMS. I was in film classes, actually, and I mentioned YMS, or Your Movie Sucks, to one of my film professors, and he just was almost offended that I even brought him up because you know, I guess he doesn't even, I told him he doesn't finish a lot of the films that he did and just walks out and gives a rating based on the film and all that, even though he didn't finish the whole film. And he was just baffled at that. And he also said that Adam stole the name of Your Movie Sucks from a Roger Ebert's book, Your Movie Sucks, and all that. Which I gotta say, yeah, he might as well have. But yeah, so let's talk about YMS. He hasn't released a YMS video in a couple years now. So there's that. He's done Sardonicast, which I thought was pretty decent. But apparently Ralph the Movie Maker left for some reason. I don't know why. He was pretty consistent throughout the entire podcast, but now he just up and left, which is kind of unfortunate. And yeah, so that's kind of interesting. He's done a lot more streaming. And he says, oh yeah, well, I'm just streaming after I do like breaks and stuff on editing these videos and all that. But I'm just like, listen, you've been sitting on the Lion King, your Lion King YMS Part 2 forever, and you've been sitting on all these other videos you promised and you haven't done them. Like, what the heck? Stop streaming. Stop watching other videos like Darman. Stop doing that. But now he's becoming more critically online than he previously was, and it's kind of he's going down the wrong path. Let's go. Let's do that. But yeah, he's not. Yeah, it's not looking good for YMS, unfortunately. Yeah, and he's getting. I mean, there was a time where he was getting into Nikocado Avocado to the point where I couldn't tell if he was kidding or if he was actually serious. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It was kind of borderline weird. I couldn't even watch his streams because it was just very bizarre. Also, he's starting to bring up internet stuff into the Sardonicast podcast when it's supposed to not be about internet stuff. Why would it be about the internet stuff? I mean, you can kind of make the argument for Boogie 2988, the Boogie 2988 documentary, which they did recently, but why are you talking about Nikocado Avocado in Sardonicast? That's not the way. No. Anyway, yeah, YMS, he's not posting a whole lot on the main channel anymore. I mean, he's doing some reviews, technically, but I'm just not liking the outputs, and I'm tired of waiting for a lot of his vids, and I get it, they take a long time. I understand that, but he has editing help, and I get he's got some arthritis or whatever, or something like that, but he has editing help. He doesn't want to get help to help on his bigger videos, stuff that he's been a lot of people sub to and for. So yeah, and he's also doing a whole tirade on like Twitter and all that, which is he's starting to become not good. And I'm gonna put him here for this year at least. Hopefully it gets back to basics and gets back next year, but yeah, it's not looking so good for him. Anyway, Ralph the Movie Maker, when he actually releases a vid it's actually pretty good and pretty decent. He started to get less jokey and more, serious film type of deal and all that. He's into the MCU. He's more apologetic towards the MCU than YMS or IHE and all that, so there's that. And I really do enjoy his vids. I just wish he would post a lot more. He posts very, very rarely, and I get it, he's trying to make his film life and all that, but still, I like to see more of him. So we're going to put him in hasn't posted in a while, but still a great guy. I would highly recommend to subscribe to his channel, because when he's funny, he's really funny. And when he's doing his film analysis, his film analysis is really, really good. Anyway, IHE, this is the... Oh my gosh. What do I even say about him? He rarely posts at all. Like, in order to see if he's actually alive, I gotta watch Sardonicast or Jar Media. He's barely even doing his Jar Media podcast anymore. Hasn't posted in a while. There you go. I'm scared for him, honestly. But yeah, I wish he would do more IHE type of stuff. The Search for the Worst, again, one of the best series on YouTube, but he hasn't posted a Search for the Worst in a very long time, and I would like to see him do that. But life, all that type of stuff I get, but still, I like to see more of that. Anyway, Kronk the Book Guy. This guy I came across in my book tube rabbit hole and all that. Actually popped up on my recommended feed and all that, and I actually really do enjoy his vids. It's structured in such a way that it gives like a summary and like a sort of analysis on the book series and all that, and decide whether or not you should read it or whatever. And you know what? I really do enjoy his vids. I've watched every single one. He's a fairly new channel, but he's already gotten like over 5K, I think, in the past year, which is pretty high, at least in my eyes, because I've been on YouTube for a very long time and not even cracked 300, but I treasure these 300 subscribers to its entirety. Thank you to the 300 subscribers that I have. I'm not dissing you or anything like that, but anyway, I'd say it's pretty high overall. Great guy. And Kronk the Book Guy, superior. I would say maybe do a little bit more book series that are more popular, because as of late he did a lot of indie books and all that type of stuff, which, okay, that's fine, but still, I would like to see, I don't know, Harry Potter. He hasn't done Harry Potter yet, but he's done Narnia, he's done Lord of the Rings, all that type of stuff, and I really do enjoy that. So yeah, just maybe do Harry Potter, maybe, please. Anyway, I'm gonna probably butcher her name, so give me 1 second. Let me look her up real fast. Murphy Napier. I'm gonna say her name's Murphy Napier because I don't really hear a lot of her last name anymore. But anyway, Murphy is like the queen of BookTube, apparently. She does a lot of BookTube videos and breaks it down in like schedules and all that. And she also has to juggle kids and her husband and all that. And I gotta say, top tier BookTube overall. Yeah, she does all the editing herself. She's like a one-woman band, and it works. Like, a lot of her vids really are super enjoyable as well. The only thing that's really bugs me about her is that she only reads manga, and she only focuses on manga on one channel, and the other channel she focuses on books. But she said, I don't know, it's like this whole BookTube thing that's like, manga's great, but graphic novels aren't that great either. I'm like, have you heard of The Dark Knight Returns? Have you heard of Watchmen? Have you heard of The Sandman? I mean, my gosh, can you please just read these graphic novels before you say anything about manga, okay? And I get a lot of manga's great. I'm not saying manga's not great, but graphic novels, they're also great. But yeah, other than that, her vids are very, very well done. She gives a lot of opinions on the greater, wider novel-esque eras and all that. So a lot less like just fantasy like a Daniel Green or whatever. But it's more like, she's talking about some good points and all that, which I really do like. So, let's see. Would I put her in superior? Would I put her in awesome? I put her in awesome just because of the whole manga thing, and I'm like, okay. Read a couple of the best graphic novels of all time, Watchmen, Old Man Logan, that type of stuff. Then say manga's the best, okay? But other than that, yeah, would be superior all day. Her vids are fantastic. Anyway, Jess the Shire. She used to be part-time Hobbit, but had to change her name because, Tolkien Estates owns the rights to the Hobbit name. Anyway, Jess of the Shire, she's done exceptional work, I would say, in all of her vids. Like, a lot of times she cooks. Sometimes she just talks about the movies of the Lord of the Rings. Sometimes she just talks about J.R.R. Tolkien and his legacy and all that. And I really get an overall greatness toward Tolkien and his works thanks to Just the Shire and all that. And she does editing very, very well. I just wish that she would do just a tiny bit more. We got a taste of it with a few vids that she did. One fairly recently was like a little history of horror or something with like Frankenstein and all that, and Dracula, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. And we got a taste of it. Apparently she's going to do more with stuff like Dune and all that type of thing, and Narnia, I think. But yeah, looking forward to that. That can't come any faster. But anyway, I also like what she did with her boyfriend, who I don't know why they haven't really done anything as of late, because they were going to do the Hobbit trilogy. I don't know, maybe they broke up or something. I don't know. I'm not going to decipher that because that's private. But they went into reacting to a lot of the older stuff with adaptations based on Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, which I found to be absolutely hilarious. And I really like her boyfriend. I wish we saw more of her boyfriend, but maybe they broke up again. I'm not going to divulge any of that. It's because I have no idea, and that's private, and I'm not going to dissect that. But anyway, great vid. Oh yeah, she also did a Renaissance fair as well, which I gotta say, I'm all about Renaissance fairs. But anyway, Superior all day, son. Great work. Alex Myers. This guy, I think, lives in Japan, but he's American originally. He talks a lot about the weird rom-coms and DComs and Nickelodeon and all that too, but he has an animated avatar where he animates a lot of stuff, and it just goes completely insane a lot of the times, which I gotta say, his jokes and humor, awesome. It's just amazing. Makes me laugh every video, at least every video, if not multiple times a video. So yeah, a lot of his reactions are just, chef's kiss. Once again, gotta put him in S tier. S tier all day. Anyway, Saber Spark, I met him. I followed him on a few... I followed him a few years ago, I believe. And yeah, apparently, we graduated from the same college. Not together. We weren't in the same college together, he graduated probably 1 or 2 years before I, went into college, but still, I found it kind of interesting. And I met him at MomoCon, which I gotta say, very nice guy. I wish we could collab as well, but yeah, love that guy. And apparently he's got connections to my old college and all that I will try to take up the offer for him and all that, I don't know, see if we can talk again. I don't know, probably go to MomoCon, because he'll probably be at MomoCon again. Try to search him out. Not stalk him by any means. No stalking, of course, but, maybe try to find him and all that, because he's such a great guy. Anyway. But yeah, his vids are very well put together. I like the way he talks. Apparently, Skits doesn't like the way he talks. But I think he talks very well, and he's very articulate with his words and what he has to say and all that. And yeah, he also has re-uploaded to SaberSpark64, his video game channel, which I gotta say, very nice, very well done. It's a little bit more sporadic, but yeah, overall his vids are very well put together, all about animation. All in all, just some amazing work and all that. And love his VeggieTales vid, What Ruined VeggieTales, which I gotta say, yeah, I knew there was a problem with VeggieTales, but the way he articulated it made me think, oh yeah, that's why VeggieTales sucks later on. I thought it was just getting old. But anyway, yep. SaberSpark, great man, great channel. He's doing apparently a Land Before Time deep dive into the entirety of the films, all 14 films and the series, which is also what Jenny did, which we'll get into. But no plagiarism. He's probably gonna give his own opinion on certain things. But anyway, SaberSpark, my opinion, S tier. Skits' opinion probably just good, but I'm gonna put him in S tier. Jordan Fringe. This beast has just dived into, if you thought that Mr. Nostalgia dove into like DComs and whatever, Alex Myers goes into like all the rom-coms and all that, this guy goes into literally everything. He goes into literally all the obscure late 90s, early 2000s, 2010s cartoons, dives into them all, like consistently. He uploads a video a day with amazing editing. I don't know if he does it all himself, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did it all himself, because it seems like a one-man band. He seems like a one-man band, but it looks like he has a series of writers and editors as well. So that's how well he's done it. He's done like a 12-hour retrospective on Survivor, which I gotta say, chef's kiss to that. I watched all 12 hours of that, and it actually made me want to watch Survivor. I was shocked. I didn't think I would want to watch Survivor, but here we are. He's also doing a complete series guide to Pokemon, which he just wrapped up and finished. And now he's doing Yu-Gi-Oh! So there you go. He does anime, he does little animated stuff. He does it all. He's kind of terminally online, but he's not on Twitter or anything like that. He's just making vids about cartoons. And I love every vid he makes. He's uploading, and best thing of all, he's got a gaming channel, and he's consistently uploading to his gaming channel too. I am shocked. I am shocked that he's doing that. It's like every day. Gaming channel and regular channel. I can't believe he did that. I would assume he's got to have some help, but it seems like it's exclusively him. It's very interesting to say the least. So Jordan Fringe, Oh gosh, this is getting crowded, but S tier. S tier all day. Hasan Piker. Now this guy has been pretty controversial to say the least. I'm not going to dive into politics, although he's a very political figure, but yeah, he's a very communist fellow. He loves communism, but the thing is, I don't believe him because a lot of his streams, he just walks away and sits back down and ignores what was, said for like 30 minutes or something, and he just says, oh yeah, I don't agree with that. Why? You haven't watched the entire video, you just let the video play and all that. He's terminally online. I hate him. I hate him. I hate his streaming stuff. Yeah, I don't think he actually knows what he's doing or what he's trying to say or articulate or speak at all. So get off the platform, Hasan. Just get off. I don't necessarily agree with your political views, but at least I can articulate why I don't agree with it. You can't really articulate why you agree with communism. So there you go. Sneeko, the complete opposites of Hasan Piker, but almost the same in all the worst ways. So he does kind of the same thing. He's kind of a Andrew Tate follower and all that, and I don't necessarily like him either. I don't have Andrew Tate on this list because I don't want him on this list. But Sneeko's kind of the poster child for all Andrew Tate people and all that, which I don't necessarily like. Get off the platform. Get off the platform. And Hasan Piker is kind of like the poster child for everybody that's on the other side. Let's put it that way. On the very extreme other side that can't articulate why they're the way they are. Philip DeFranco. Now, I actually got into his news videos a while ago. I've been consistently watching him ever since. Now, he's clearly he's on the left. Let's be clear here. But even with that, I would say he tries to be very centrist in regards to reporting the news and all that type of stuff. And yeah, I get a lot of the news from Philip DeFranco these days. Philip DeFranco and some others and all that are kind of balance out everything, because you gotta balance out these days. You can't be too left, you can't be too right either. You gotta be kind of in the middle, Anyway, yeah. Philip DeFranco, though, he gives some pretty good vids and boils down the whole news to the greatest extent possible and all that. There's also a spin-off channel, Zed Tabani. I don't really like his vids anymore, mainly because he's one of those community tabbers that are just posting a lot of community posts on his community tab, and it's just, okay, I get it. Save it for a video, please. Please don't clog up my feed with your community ramblings and all that. And yeah, so Philip, great man overall. I put him in A tier, honestly. Now, there might be some people that are just like, okay, I'm not really into Phil. I get it. I full-heartedly get it. And he doesn't really give, when I originally subbed to him, he used to do like the good news in the middle of his news video and all that, but he doesn't do that anymore, which I find to be kind of sad, to say the least. It's kind of, his happier news is kind of sporadic, and I'm not really a fan of that. It's more dreary now, so if you don't really like that, I fully understand that. Let me just look up this man's this next guy's name here because I don't want to mispronounce it here. Peter Santillo. Peter Santillo. We're going to call him Peter, okay? I don't know his last name. I'm sorry. Anyway, this guy is basically the Johnny Harris I want, basically. What he does, and I can't believe I found him, but he just goes out, basically, to the most obscure parts of the world, like America, even. And he just goes around and talks to people. And that's it. And I love that. I love this whole thing. Like, he dissects different aspects of cultures and all that type of thing. Like he did the polyamorous Mormon church. I know there's a different name for that, but he went to Utah. He talked to Mormons and all that. He went to the Appalachians and talked to rednecks and all that. He went to the worst parts of West Virginia. He went to Pittsburgh. He's been everywhere. He's been everywhere, man. He's been everywhere. Anyway, yeah, I love his vids. He exposes a lot more on the ground than anyone else probably in all of news, and I love that. I absolutely adore his vids whenever I get around to it. So because of that, ladies and gentlemen, we got another S tier. It's getting full, but we're almost done. Anyway, Chloe Abram. Again, this is coming off of the Johnny Harris thing as well, where Johnny Harris and Cleo Abram came from Vox Media, which, they did this whole thing about having context first in your video and then explaining your thing at the very end and all that. It's this whole thing. Johnny breaks it down and all that, and yeah, if you watch his video on how he breaks it all down, you will it makes a lot more sense. But anyway, Cleo Abram, I dare say, she's a better Johnny Harris, I dare say, but she's not about travel or politics or whatever the hell. She's about technology, and it's most of the time, like all the time for the most part, it's all good news on technology, which I gotta say, I need more good news in my life. Okay, Cleo, okay, come on. Thank you for that good news. Anyway, at first, and this might be stereotyping. Actually, I know this is stereotyping. At first, I thought she was just like a hired hand or something because she was a model as well. And I'm just like, okay, if she's a model, how does she know so much about tech or whatever? But she knows a lot more than I would ever know, okay? So, yeah. Stereotyping is not good, okay? Not good at all. Marquis Brown. Marquis also, I forget his last name too, but let me just double check his last name. I subscribe to him too, but I'm gonna kind of unofficially bulk them in together. But what's Marquis? No, that's not it. Oh gosh, give me a second, kind folks. We're gonna go on a little. Marquis Brownlee. I'm gonna just call him that, but great channel, 18 million subscribers. Go follow him. But he basically does the same thing that Cleo Abram does, basically, and they did a little podcast together. So yeah, I really do enjoy these tech channels and all that, where they divulge into different aspects of technology and all that, and I really do enjoy that. So, but he's more of a review type channel where he reviews a lot of tech and all that, where she does a lot of like more news stories, good tech news stories. And she's got a whole team and all that that helps her, which I gotta say, very well done. All in all, superior. She's in the superior list. I fully embrace her and all that. Don't let the model stereotype confuse you or whatever. She knows her stuff. She knows what she's doing. Great work. Anyway, Rebel Taxi. This is the best, and you can talk to any of these animation YouTubers. Rebel Taxi is basically the best animation YouTuber of all time. He does amazing work. His editing is so buttery smooth and so clean. There's a lot of like live action stuff. A lot of it's funny. In fact, his intro for the longest time was like going into Blockbuster and then going into like his mother's basement or something with all of his crap just laid out in a mess where he just reviews crap. And then there's like, he does like an animation intro or something with like reminds me of Toonami and all that. And Cowboy Bebop. It's awesome. It's awesome work. The anti-Mr. Enter, if you will. Oh, don't even get me started, Mr. Enter. But anyway, Rebel Taxi, amazing, awesome. Get back on the podcast. I love the podcast. I know you took a break from it, but please come back to the podcast. Superior all day. Also, is uploading has kind of slowed down a little bit. He's done a little bit more of a gaming and all that type of stuff, but we need to get him back. We need to get him back on uploading more, please. I know it takes a while, but please upload more. We need more vids. Don't overwork yourself, but please upload more vids. Anyway, the last one that we're going to talk about, Jenny Nicholson. She came from Screen Junkies, I believe, and then she started doing her own vids. She kind of inspired a certain other YouTuber to do pitch meeting videos. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, she does very long form videos, like basically podcast style, just huge videos, podcast length, just 3 hours long of videos. But she does it in the very most random things. Like, for instance, Evermore. She did one on Evermore, the Utah fantasy theme park, which is kind of interesting. She also did the Land Before Time breakdown, which I really enjoyed as well. And I maybe inspired Saberspark with his Land Before Time video. She also did a deep dive into bronies and BronyCon and all that, which I found to be really awesome as well. The only thing that's holding her back, though, from being superior, unfortunately, and this is true for a lot of great YouTubers, content creators, hasn't posted in a while. In fact, I think her last video was like 6 months ago or something. I like to see more vids from her, but still, great vids. I know they take a long time to research and all that, 'cause she's a one-woman band, but still, I just wanted to see more vids from her as well. But anyway, that's it. That's all the YouTubers I currently watch, and yeah, it's a lot. I know. Some YouTubers I'll probably never watch again, right down there. But anyway, though, guys, what do you think? Am I missing anybody? I'm sure I am, because this is only the tip of the iceberg right here. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on who I put where? And who would you put in any of these tiers? Why don't you comment, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. More vids coming your way, and hey, take care, guys.